Welcome in, everyone. We have a very special interview here from former Rad Esports / Team 1 duelist Melio, and now on Citadel Gaming. Melio, how does it feel to be coming hot off of a win from the mid-season finals, now into Stage 2 with a whole new roster?
I mean, it always feels amazing winning things like these. It's of course something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, but it also feels amazing trying new options and exploring what a different team would feel like for the coming stage.
Talking specifically about maybe the rivalry you guys had with Berber Patapim, but now Citadel Gaming, and now being on that roster, you guys knocked them out of the mid-season finals. Did this kind of help you get like an idea of their play style so you know how to mesh better with them now that you're signed with the roster?
I mean, of course, I'm very familiar with a lot of the things they do and how they play because we've played them a bunch of times and scrimmed them a bunch of times so far. So I'm very well aware of what the team is like and what we can do to make it the best team in the world.
Best team in the world. You basically came from the best team in the world at that point, now on to Citadel Gaming. I mean, what was the reason for making that change over to this new roster?
I mean, for me personally, I feel like it's something about personalities and how they clash and stuff like this. You know, some people just can't work together forever. Like, there's two different personalities from me and Team 1. That's why I decided to leave, because in the long run, it wouldn't keep working out.
Well, it's good to hear that you found a solid fit going into Stage 2 of Ignite. Hopefully have the best performance you guys can have there. They did win the specific side of things for EMEA, but of course had that 4th place finish in mid-season. What are your hopes going into this stage and also the grand finals for this team?
I mean, I hope I can be of great use to the team. I hope I can help them with a lot of the theoretical stuff that I learned when I was on Red and that I also know as a player, because I come from a different game where we have a different line of theory that we all used on Red, but nobody from Citadel has this theory. So if I can bring this in and we can learn it and we can get good at it, plus we can utilize what they were already good at beforehand, I feel like this can be the best team in the world, like undoubtedly.
Well, any final thoughts, shoutouts, things of that sort? It's been great to hear from you, Melio.
No, thank you. It's also been great talking with you. I'll just shout out to my team, Citadel Gaming. I really believe in them and I love every one of them.
Awesome. Well, you can catch Citadel and Melio this weekend for Marvel Rivals Ignite. EMEA is starting up. It's going to be great action. Make sure you tune in on the Marvel Rivals channel on YouTube and Twitch. We'll see you then.
Smokescreen! I'm hunkering down. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
Touch our soul! Hell unleashed!
Well, hello once again, Rivals. My name is Diatonic, and I've got your after-action report for the second week of the Marble Rivals Ignite Asia Group Stage. Zero Tenacity were back in action to kick things off for Week 2, taking on Down Payment in the opening match. Z10 looked clean on Map 1, but Down Payment would claw their way to a reverse sweep, defeating Z10 2-1. Incipients were still on the hunt for their first group stage win as they took on U-Inks next, and they'd get themselves on the board with a big 2-0 win here. Rounding out this first day of Week 2 was yet another marquee matchup, the fated rematch between Stage 1 champs Reject and the newly rebuilt Gen G. Though the players have changed, the story was yet again one of triumph for Reject as they take the series in a close 2-1 showdown. The second day of Week 2 started off with a match between veteran team Assemble Fire, who are still in search of their first group stage win, against Incipients. But Incipients had picked up some steam here in Week 2 as they won their second game of the week in a close 2-1 bout. Down Payment also continued their winning streak, taking their third win in a row over Rocket University in a big 2-0 sweep. Onside Gaming looked to keep their dominance alive in the next match as well, taking on U-Inks and walking away with a clean 2-0. And in the final Day 2 matchup, Zero Tenacity went head-to-head with the Vietnamese squad OEG. It was a tough draw for OEG, and they'd fall victim to Z10 2-0. Day 3 kicked off with a showdown between frontrunner team Crazy Raccoon and Onside Gaming, with CR continuing their flawless group stage campaign with yet another 2-0 win. We had a heavy hitter matchup between Gen G and Zero Tenacity next, one that Gen G would walk away the victors from with a complete 2-0 shutout. XOXO01 and Incipients stepped onto the field next, and EXO would lock in their playoff position here with a big win over Incipients. We ended the day on a very interesting matchup between Reject and Rocket University, with Rocket actually managing to take a map off Reject, but the only 3-map series of the day would go Reject's way in the end. The final day of the Asia group stage began with 2 Legacy Ignite competitors, XOXO01 and Assemble Fire, a matchup that EXO would win handily 2-0. Reject were back up against Down Payment, and the Stage 1 champs would emerge victorious here, also 2-0. Crazy Raccoon had their last match against U-Inks and would complete a perfect run through the group stage with yet another 2-0 win. And finally, the group stage would close with Genji taking on OEG, with Genji picking up the last win of the week. And after 2 weeks of group stage action, the Asia playoff picture was locked in. From Group A, Crazy Raccoon, XOXO01, Onside Gaming, and Incipients advanced to the playoffs. And from Group B, Reject, Genji, Down Payment, and Zero Tenacity all make it through. The competition in the Asia region is looking hotter than ever, with only the top 2 teams qualifying for the Grand Finals LAN tournament later this year. Well, that's all for now, Rivals. I hope you caught your breath because we're about to dive right back in. Get ready to ignite the battle.
Welcome everyone to the final day of group stage here in Marvel Rivals Ignite Oceania Stage 2. Super excited to be here. I am Profound Rice and I am joined by the wonderful Liger, and we are both so happy to be here.
Absolutely excited, more than ever, to the moon and back, because we are going to be witnessing some of the best games today. We're talking about some dream matches are happening, some dire matches are happening to see who can get their final amount of points on the board here in the group stage, as we know. Because there is a factor to consider here, Profound Rice, that from the last 3 days, we kind of have established who's going to playoffs.
Yeah, we already do know exactly who is going to be playoffs. The top 2 have been decided. And so we do know from Group A, it's going to be Vulcan Red and Kanga Esports heading off to the playoffs. And from Group B, it's going to be Chopper Mag and Ground Zero. However, these 4 top teams haven't versed each other yet, and they'll be versing today. So while we know who is going to the playoffs, we don't know who is going to be first and second seed from each group. All these 4 teams are currently 2-0 in the scoreline. But of course, our final game, the third game of the day, is also Brainstorm Esports versus Exodia. But Liger, the goddess of death, shows no mercy. Extra,
Yes.
Get your timely bulletin. Fear stalks timely, folks. Our new sheriff, Red Wolf, has vanished, gone like a ghost in the dust. And who rode the skeletal horse into the Valley of Doom right after? A grim lady from Europe, dressed in black with pockets full of black gold. She wants our town, our land, our future. Don't be left in the dark. The truth's in the timely bulletin. Just a nickel.
That's right, instill fear into your enemy's eyes as you ascend the battlefield as Hella's the Grim Lady costume, making its debut appearance in Marvel Rivals Season 4. Available September 25th at 7 p.m. PDT. Give them something to talk about for centuries to come.
The slumbering Shulao awakens in our Shulao's Blessing event. The immortal Shulao graces the battlefield with his generosity, but you have to complete missions to earn his rewards.
That's right, earn points by playing different game modes to earn rewards that will have special missions to complete and a specific unlocked time, so keep an eye out for your next task as you reach new milestones, unlock the dragon within, and redeem new costumes added to the pool from September 25th at 9 UTC to October 9th at 9 UTC.
Marvel Rivals is also now available on PlayStation 4. Download and play Marvel Rivals now for free. On PlayStation, Marvel Rivals Season 4, Heart of the Dragon is now live. Join the fight alongside the one and only Angela.
Absolutely, I have been playing Angela. Angela's very fun. We've actually got to see some Angela yesterday as well, I believe, from TD Valkyrie on Vulcan Red, so that was good to see some Angela. But yeah, very soon we're going to get into the schedule for today. As we know, we are day 4 of the group stage. As we know, that means that the past 3 days, especially, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we had all the teams playing to get points on the board to lock themselves into the top 4 in playoffs for next week. This is the final day. The points are already kind of locked in to get into people's positions. So as you said earlier, Ricey, we're going to have now some fun games, but very important games still, that decide the seeding for the playoffs next week. So what I think is going to happen is we're in store for an absolute banger, this first one. This is going to be an interesting one, seeing as the 2 top teams in Group B are going head to head right now. And they've also been called out by majority of the players in our interviews for the past few days as well. These two teams, you know, it's sort of like a 1A, 1B sort of situation.
No, I completely agree. As you mentioned, today is the last day for group stage, and we are determining the seeding for the playoffs next weekend. October 3rd, the Friday, then Saturday, October 4th, and of course Sunday, where everything gets decided. That's where our grand finals will be on October 5th. So playoffs next weekend, but today things are still so exciting and so much at stake in the final day of group stage.
Yes, of course, going into the playoffs next week's going to be amazing. But even more amazing than that is the prize pool. That's what's on the line for these teams playing in MRI OCE. Of course, the total award is 75,000 USD for all these teams up for grabs. First place going to walk away with 30,000 bucks. That's big. Second place taking away 15,000. Third taking away 9,000. Fourth with the 6,000 pot, and fifth and sixth respectively with 4.5 thousand, and seventh and eighth with 3,000. This matters a lot today, as especially two of the teams today are playing for that 1,500 difference in our last match.
Yeah, exactly. You're completely right. Those who are finishing fourth in the groups will be walking away with 3,000, but those who are finishing third will be walking away with 4,500. But Liga, this pick ban explanation is also really important. It is different. How pick and ban works in Marvel Rivals Ignite is different to how it works in the competitive games that you guys are playing, of course, in your ranked matches. So the picks and bans are unique to each team. The bans only affect the enemy team, and hitting save locks a hero and makes them immune to further bans for only your personal team.
Yes, obviously, it's very beneficial to play very smart and very wise in your picking and banning phase. You know, there's obviously round 1, there's a double banning phase. Round 6 also has a double banning phase, but throughout the protects are spread out. You can clearly see round 2 goes to the red side, round 4 to the blue side, 7 as well to the blue side, then back at the end at final protect for the red side to just give them some confirmation they can lock something down. And you can see Doctor Strange there, and funnily enough, we did see a final protect on Doctor Strange yesterday, and it mattered. Teams that did not have Strange protected and teams that did not even have access to Strange really changed the tide. But the standings are in right here, and it's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, you're completely right. You know, Vulcan Red, Kanga, Ground Zero, Chopper Mag, these 4 teams have not dropped a single series. They are primed and looking so good. They're looking all extremely strong. But 2 of these teams will have to lose their first series. So, of course, we're going to be seeing Ground Zero and Chopper Mag coming up first. So one of those 2 teams have to, unfortunately, lose and come first and second. Same with Vulcan Red and same with Kanga. One of those have to come first and second seeds of Group A. But our final, also really interesting game as well is Exodia versus Brainstorm Esports, currently both not winning a single game. So this is going to be an exciting match between the 3rd and 4th for Group B, and also, of course, for glory. Who can win one series before their journey in Marvel Rivals Ignite ends?
Oh, those are some pretty interesting storylines. I like that. But yeah, there it is. Today's matches. The schedule is locked in. As we know, starting off today at 18 UTC plus 10 is going to be Ground Zero versus Chopper Mag. This is going to be a fun team. You know, as we know, hey, we know OC's got some storylines. There's some spice there. We know all the lore, everybody watching, all the regulars in the chat. Ground Zero vs Chopper Mag is a very spicy one. We do know that the Chopper Mag roster formerly were on Ground Zero's roster. Things have changed, a little bit of difference, a little bit of spice. It'll be a bit of a grudge match. Who knows? I'm liking it because there's a bit of good drama there, and it's going to be a fun one. But Kanga versus Vulcan Red is just going to be as heated. They have been smashing it in their group, doing very well, and we're finally going to see who's better than the other. It's a good time to see it. But my personal enjoyment is going to come from match 3. As we know, these 2 teams, Brainstorm Esports and Exodia, they have fought their way into Marvel Rivals Ignite. Relatively new teams, but they did put on a show when we saw them and made Ground Zero and Chopper Mag work for those wins. But they get to have one final say on the stage and show everybody what they got. I'm expecting some funny picks, some off-meta strategies, and some absolute entertainment.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, Liga. I am also really excited for that final match. On paper, people might be like, oh, but why? It doesn't really matter. Both these teams can't go to playoffs. But they are fighting for that 3rd and 4th spots. They are fighting for that difference of $1,500 US dollars. So there's still quite a lot on stake. And of course, glory as well. You don't want to be the team to walk away with 0 wins. You want to be at least able to claim 1 win and cement yourselves as, I guess, a winner in the Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament. And I think it's also going to be really close and really exciting. But of course, this first matchup that we're having, the that one is also one that I have personally been waiting for since the beginning of this entire group stage. These two teams, these two giants of a teams, Ground Zero versus Chopper Mag, is going to be a really good one.
This is literally what we're going to call, you know, arguably OCE Civil War. You know,
Yes,
are
yes.
you Team Cap? Are you Team Iron Man? We're going to find out right now. I know everybody is excited for this one. We all are too. Behind the scenes, we're having a good time, ready to go into a match between Ground Zero and Chopper Mag. It's going to be absolutely awesome to see these teams. I honestly wish it was a best of 5, but maybe it's a preview for something later on in playoffs. Maybe just a little preview. We get to see the action that we're going to get from these two teams. But all the hype's been said. All the predictions have been made. These teams have been the most conversed about in the scene. Let's see if they're all cracked up what they've been told to be. We're going to find out very soon as we are getting ready to jump into picks and bans.
Picks and bans, super exciting. Of course, it starts off though the same way most of our picks and bans start off, with a double Ultron ban. Ultron being one of the most banned and saved heroes throughout the entire 3 days so far, and it doesn't look like it's changing today. Following up though is of course Mantis, another very sought after pick. Jeff has been somewhat sought after and everything, about like a 50% rate, but of course Mantis is definitely a must ban or save. Same with Adam Warlock, which is the final ban for this first half for Chopper Mag.
Oh, that is exactly what I expected to see. Just strategists all lined up right there in the picks and bans. All 4 slots on both sides, save for the strategists right there. It's going to look like Chopper Mag's going to be able to secure the Jeff at the same time as denying the Jeff from Ground Zero. On the other side, Ground Zero are locking in Mantis for themselves, denying, of course, some other picks for them. No Mantis available for Chopper Mag. Luna's also the next Protect. The first Vanguard to appear on our screens. There we go. Ground Zero do not have access to Bruce Banner. Top of that, Chopper Mag's locking in Luna for themselves. Both teams locking in Luna. Strong Protect from both sides. Going to obviously have those dancing, healing vibes. Then the final ban that's going to affect Chopper Mag rolling in from Ground Zero. What's it going to be?
I'm thinking it might be another Vanguard, potentially maybe Emma Frost. We can see Zen hovering that, but as well as we know that Chopper Mag does have quite a few different other Vanguards they're very good at. Actually, it's going to be Star-Lord. That's actually kind of interesting, but I do like the Star-Lord ban. We saw 2 Star-Lord bans yesterday, so I think it might have also been against Chopper Mag as well, so people do respect the Star-Lord in Chopper Mag's hands.
Oh, they do indeed. All right, we're rolling in, finding out what team ups are going to be active as well. I do like what I'm seeing so far. We got Duelist. That's the first good step. We're not running triple right off the bat. We're not doing that here on Celestial Husk. Teams want to get out there, start fighting, and having a good old time.
Okay, I just double-checked my notes. I did, in fact, lie to you. I'm so sorry, Liger. The ban of Star-Lord wasn't against Chopper Mag. It was against Vulcan Red. But anyway, in this game, I'm still super excited to see, of course, these two teams play off. It is what some consider, unbeatable teams right now, with these two currently being 2-0 each. Very excited to see how it all goes between these undefeated teams of Group B.
Yes, indeed. Very soon, we're going to roll into action for Celestial Husk. Between Ground Zero and Chopper Mag, the game is almost upon us here in Celestial Husk. We're going to find out very, very soon after a quick timeout. Getting these teams sorted, of course, as we know. We've got to build suspense, everybody. Come on now. Hold your horses. Relax. But no, we can actually talk a bit of shop here. So, Ultron's gone. Ultron, I believe, if I was correct, I was reading Rice's statistics yesterday, had a 100% pick ban rate yesterday. Is that correct? 100% was appearing there. I believe 12 bans yesterday for Ultron. My goodness. Insane.
Yep.
What has Ultron done to these days?
12 bans and 2 saves. Though I think one interesting note is that while one of those saves, I don't think Ultron has actually played during that game, but other than that has been basically banned out completely. And the day before that, it was 9-3, so 12 out of 14 ban saves. He was banned and saved. And the day before that was 100% once more. So only on Friday was he let through without being banned or saved for 2 options, two rounds, 2 halves.
Okay. Well, just to recap for folks, Ground Zero we did see earlier on day 1 and 2. Of course, Ground Zero did have their first match against Brainstorm Esports. Showed promise, definitely did Brainstorm, but Ground Zero did win that one 2-0 in their first series, in their first game on Thursday, of course. But then we saw them again day 2. They definitely had a bit of a tougher time, of course, but they were taking on Exodia. Exodia were a bit more prepared for them because they did have that extra game on Thursday to watch and figure out what Ground Zero is going to come out with. However, Ground Zero, I believe, they've got some roster changes today, so they've got a new player in. I believe Asher is on the scene, so Asher returning to the fray of Marvel Rivals Esports is nice to see. Keen to see how that's going to unfold for them. I've heard they've been screaming. I've heard they've actually screamed a couple teams from Asia last night, and I've heard promise from Ground Zero. So keen to see if that's the extra prep they need to be able to take on Chopper Mag today. However, Chopper Mag, they have been very experimental in the time that we have seen them so far. They've played 2 days in a row, right? Friday and yesterday respectively. And Ricey, I'll tell you what, they're playing dive. Not a lot of other teams are playing dive. Is that the influence of course, Bobo and Salve on their team? Are they bringing out other regions' tactics to OCE? Is that actually going to help them seal the deal and take that sole spot to LAN?
So, yeah, Chopper Mag, we've seen Chopper Mag play Venom on Zenstari a few times. I think Zenstari, when I think of Zenstari and I close my eyes and I picture his gameplay, the 2 heroes that come to mind is Groot and Venom. So, you agree, right? It's just Groot and Venom. He's good at other. I think he did really well on Venom though, even on LAN and in Stage 1. And I think now in Stage 2, he has been leaning more towards the Venom, and it's been terrifying to see him dive that backline. So I think you could be right with the influence of Salvation and Bubble coming through to help with that dive. But I think also Zenstari being able to play a dive Vanguard to a high level also helps bring in that sort of dive identity. But of course, if they want to bunker down, if they want to play Groot, Chopper Mag can do that extremely well as well. And when we think of Dewey, we think of Magneto, and we do also think of like Emma Frost and the other standard Vanguards, but his Magneto is absolutely insane as well. So absolutely. I think Chopper Mag are able, yes, Dunk Master indeed. I think Chopper Mag are able to play quite a few different compositions and play them at an extremely high level.
Even as you said, the high level, when they were at mid-season finals, they were the first team to bring out the triple lineup, holding, I believe, what got them one of their first victories, kept them going in the tournament, of course, on day 3, and they did manage to bring out that triple lineup, hold it down with the 3 Vanguards and the 3 Strategists on the front door of Spider Islands 299 Tokyo.
Yep.
So they might bring it out again. We've seen for the past few days a lot of teams running the triple composition and holding them spawn doors and getting a lot of value and a lot of time. But we're about to jump back into the game very, very soon between Ground Zero Esports and Chopper Mag. Battle's going to kick off. As we know, we are on Celestial Husk. It's domination mode. Domination, as we know, very fast-paced mode, very good vibes. But I'm so excited to get into the games.
No, I'm so excited as well, and you guys can't see it obviously because it hasn't started playing just yet. But one thing, there we go. I think we're in. One thing I am noticing right now is Pethig, also previously known as FMCL, is playing the Jet. So we might be seeing the triple once more. Actually, no, players Bubble is playing duels. We're seeing triple strategist backline from Chopper Mag. Pethig, who is a really good melee dive duelist, can also play Jeff to an extremely high level as well.
Just updating everybody. I believe we reported Asher was playing today. Netra is subbed back in to play, so Netra will be playing for Ground Zero, and it's the squad we've seen on our screens the other day. So there it is, Lou getting a nice pick early on the Pethig right there, taking him out with the Bucky action. That's going to be a good pick for Ground Zero, taking him early, pushing Chopper Mag back right now, and they do get capture and start their percentage up.
They do, yeah. Ground Zero did get the high ground early, good positioning with Hogs on Doctor Strange and portaling onto the point to get the positioning quite quickly. So with that positioning, they were able to take advantage of everything. And Chopper Mag, even Pethig getting caught out, unfortunately, does mean that they do give the point to Ground Zero to start off with. 20% though, and counting. Ground Zero definitely want to hold on to it for as long as possible. Looking at the old smoke, Skittles already at 80, and same as Chopper Mag Salvation. But of course, Ground Zero strategists and Revzy, everyone is about to get the ultimates, and the fight is going to come underway.
There it is. Early presence coming up from the Ensong Inferno from Revzy right there. Crashing down into the back line. not managed to get the pick they need, but zones them out just a bit more. 40% climbing for ground zero. They're going in with the Sonic seduction. Pushing forward, it's going to be met with the dance. On Metro right there, the Fate of both worlds clashing out from both of them. All Fate of all four royalties today as the Loons are chasing after each other. And it's an attack. Who's going for it? Crunch on the abyss right there.
Taking out both the strategists in the backline. A massive a feast of the abyss on Zen's side, but of course the rest of the team is still here and they clean up completely. Ground zero all the way back in spawn, but they have 4 ultimates for this next fight. Choppermag invested so much to be able to get that point back. They invested 4 ultimates, maybe 5 actually. I'm so sorry, as Duri did use their Psionic Seduction as well. So that is a big advantage for Ground Zero in this next upcoming fight. Choppermag have only just 20%. Ground Zero with Iva Komodo goes in, doesn't able to stun out too many people. So in goes Pethig trying to get a big eat as well. Can they copy Zenstari's knob? Doesn't think they can get 1 or 2, but Lou is ready to try and stop. Actually, no, Pethig gets no one and Lou just takes them out.
Absolutely decimating him right there with the power of the Kraken impact. Revsy gets another pick from Duep, taking him down, pushing Choppermag out. Ganzo does have point captured almost for themselves, but Choppermag aren't going to give it to him easy. Going to hold it down, but the Kraken impact is being delayed and being reset. And again, it's going off. I believe that's going to lead to another one going straight to skills right there. That's a I think that was a double then a triple, so it's an unofficial pentakill for Lou on the Winter there. On the Winter side, putting in the work, but 70% in climbing. Ultimates looking in favor for Ground Zero at the moment. They still have 3 online.
Yeah, 3 online. Ground Zero have been rotating through these ultimates very effectively today in this game. And Choppermag on the back foot with the ultimates. They only have potentially 2. Maybe the Invisible Woman's Invisible Boundary is going to come up very quickly for themselves. But Adam is going to be starting things off with that Psionic Seduction, trying to captivate the minds of Choppermag. But nobody is falling for it just yet. Nobody has fallen to Adam's ultimate, but the time is ticking. 96, 97 is getting up there. Choppermag are on the point. They are contesting. So overtime has been triggered, and there are 3 ultimates to go. They make that 4 with Dewey so close behind as well.
Right, making it happen. 99% in the skies. The incoming funnels coming down. It's going to be met with an invisible boundary coming out there from Atlas. Pushing forward again. Be careful of the dance right there. Fade both worlds. The second it goes purple, it could be an offensive move right there. Another incoming inferno just to gain a bit of power, gain a bit of presence. Overtime's ticking off. 99% in the lead for Ground Zero. Pepper's in the skies. Fire slam taking out Revsy right there from the Human Torch. He's landing that Sonic right now, pushing them back. I think Choppermag managed to push Ground Zero back and do take point contestation back. Climbing forward 50% and up. Salvation with a double KO on the Invisible Woman. Woo.
Yeah, amazing work from Choppermag to retake that point, utilizing 3 ultimates for that fight. Ground Zero, though, their ultimates still exist in their hands, with Hogs now coming in with a portal to touch, and they also do have Eye of Agamotto available too. Curious whether or not they're going to be using it here in a surprise fashion. Well, Choppermag is deciding to start off with an invisible boundary, and now here comes, out comes the Eye of Agamotto as well. Choppermag has lost 2 already. This fight is going the way of Ground Zero. Wait, no, Choppermag is still in it. Perfect with the Supernova deals so much damage, and they're turning things around. I believe Portal might have also been used by Boba to get back on point as well to keep the possession going, and Zenstari with that shield takes out 2.
Absolute burning presence right there coming out from Pethig. Just when you thought Ground Zero had the fight won, Supernova, the equalizer, changed the tide with a triple KO, and they do capture it. Insane retake by Choppermag there. It looked like Ground Zero had the one, but that's just how it's going to be with these teams. These teams are so closely matched that every fight is going to be down to the wire of who can get that final ultimates value outputted and get that percentage to 100.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they've definitely got that percentage to 100. It was so close. Both of these 2 teams had 99% each, and so it's both neck and neck. The ultimate usage from Ground Zero I was extremely impressed with, but Choppermag stepping up, especially Pethig, with that Supernova to be able to get those key important picks for them to turn things around after losing 2 important key members. And yeah, this next round, I'm sure will be just as exciting, Liger.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely right now. We'll bring attention. Adam's got the Sonic selection ready to go. It could be a big one. And of course, Choppermag don't have the defensive ultimates ready to be able to counter that. So let's see how it rolls out. Pseudo Dive coming out. Of course, with Salve and Zenstari running the Symbiote Shenanigans team up, as we know. But Skittles is, you know, ice skating uphill. Watch out if Blade's around the corner. But besides all that, Atlas has boundary ready for the next fight as well. Only a couple heals will get them towards the 90% to 100% mark. 15 seconds till it holds. I will say though, this map, especially the spike in the middle, that Spire is so beneficial for stalls from Venom players. And Zensari on the Venom has a slight advantage here. However, Hogs on the Magneto still very big here, considering the fact that Chopper Mag aren't rolling a Magneto of their own. But Sonic kicks us off.
Sonic does kick us off. Doesn't really do too much onto Chopper Mag. Zensari though did get dangerous low, was able to just pop that shield in time and managed to justify with the support of all the strategists. Chopper Mag so close to capping the point, weren't quite able to just yet, but Ground Zero do have 2 more ultimates. It's going to be the Invisible Boundary and the Ensign Inferno available. Not using it just yet as Chopper Mag are now getting their ultimates available. Pending able to take down Luke is going to respond with Alice's Invisible Boundary, but Hogs also poses a back and forth as Revsy gets a double KO of their own. This Phoenix in the high ground raining so much damage from the skies. Bobo is of course also trying to contest and will be able to take down Revsy. Massive pick for Bobo here as Chopper Mag do manage to take the point. They capture it in the chaos.
Absolutely in the midst of it all, as the duels were flanking each other, Boba gets the final pick there and the value they need to capture, bringing back attention to the fact that Venom's already diving into the backline. Feast of the Abyss is loaded up, it's stunned out of it, does retreat in time. Hogs is taken down with a bit of pressure coming from Skittles as well. Do it with the kicks, taking out Adam. That's going to put Ground Zero on the back foot, but they do have Netra pumping that Fate of Both Worlds. The beats are loud, the music is flowing, but it's enough to just give the team some sustain to be able to retreat and regroup sooner for the next fight, because Chopper Mag are going to hit that 50% mark by the time the next fight kicks up into high gear, and it's all going to be on if we can get this Kraken impact from Lou, setting up a big opportunity for Ground Zero here. And the next thing that could enable them is maybe an Ensign Inferno from Revsy, just to try and nullify some of the pressure.
Yeah, if they combo those two, it's a bit crazy, but actually Adam is first on that fold with the Supernova going crazy. So much damage. Everyone is falling from Ground Zero. They're all going under right now. Triple KO for Pestic. Time for more. 1-8 Hogs, but will actually let him live because Pestic got dangerously low there as well. 70% and counting for the capture point. It is getting so much closer to Chopper Mag taking this entire first game. Ground Zero, who did get 99% in that first round, do have some ultimates here to fight for this next fight coming up, but Chopper Mag, they're looking real strong, Liger.
Oh, they are indeed. 90% climbing. Ground Zero news shows signs of life right here. Got the boundary available from Atlas. It's going to be opening point, but Perfect's in the sky, so that's a flames into a slam and gets absolutely in the midst of the invisibility. Does take out that Atlas falls. Revsy falls as well. Picks from Skittles and Zanstari, but in return, Skittles taken out by Hogs with a Melio. Good takes out Hogs. Lou forces Zanstari, swinging in with the symbiote shenanigans right there. Perfect's there as well. They're aiming down at Adam, who has the Sonic running on now. Adam gets taken down, 99% and climbing. Atlas tries to portal, all blocked by a bit of submarine. Do they make it? They do make it in time.
They just contested there. Revsy now with the Ensign Inferno does take down Netra, but it's not enough. The contest was there, but Chopper Mag nullify that completely and take this Celestial Husk 2-0.
Insane start to this series between Chopper Mag and Ground Zero. Chopper Mag taking 2-0 in domination. Pethig MVP, well deserved, absolutely burning it up on the torch. That is exactly what you want to see from your Human Torch right there. Been a minute since we've seen some Human Torch popping off. I will say that. The majority of the time it's been alternating a little bit between like some Ultron picks, as we know, most picked and banned. But there it is, your MVP's Pethig, everybody backing him up. Chopper Mag with a strong showing early on, really setting the pace. I think Ground Zero is getting warmed up though. I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to approach this. We're going to see something different as we go to Convoy or Convergence, and that's that. There it is. I expected, I would say, a 2-1 in this domination series, but it will be a 2-0 on the rounds for Chopper Mag, but we'll see how it unfolds in the next map.
Yeah, I think Ground Zero did a fantastic job in that first half of the map, of course, where they did some extremely amazing plays. But yeah, in the end, in the second round, it was in fact, of course, Chopper Mag that did come out on top. We see Lou with amazing, of course, Kraken impact. We saw, you said an unofficial Penta, right? But Pethig with the Supernovas absolutely shone from the skies.
Absolutely a burning star right there. Just when you think it's Luna, the star of the show, it's actually the Human Torch Pethy in disguise. But Bobo was putting down work as well. Once Bobo finally got on that Phoenix, started to match the pace that was coming from Rebsy's Phoenix as well. There was just a bit of an equalizer motion there. So I feel like Ground Zero needed just another step forward, another duelist presence to be able to handle Bobo and of course Pethic. But we'll see how they unfold into this next map. Of course, it's going to be a good one. Those are some crazy highlights, but it was a quick game. I won't lie, a quick game, but we've got some information, of course.
Yeah, of course, we've got some information coming up from this first game, but there will be more. Of course, this is a best of 3. So let's go to a short break and let's see what happens in that next game.
Oh yeah, 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게. 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야. 운명의 소리 들려. 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와. 시작해야 let's go. 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야. 좀 더 기다려. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해. 내가 좋아지려면 꿈꿨던 너와 나 그래 그래서 네 운명에
We are back after a fiery start between these two giants of a team, Ground Zero and Chopper Mag. Both of these two teams have not lost a series yet. They are currently 2-0 in Group B, and now though things are getting spicy. We have Chopper Mag winning the first map, the first domination here, and they won it in a 2-0 fashion. But that first round, Liger, was still extremely close.
It was definitely close. I feel like Ground Zero walked out of the gate absolutely storming on through. Had that, I believe, 80% lead on capture. But it was a good timed combination coming out, of course, with the Luna, with the Venom. Did get that combo crunch right there, and it gave Chopper Mag momentum to keep on going. And that led into the momentum onto the second round of Celestial Husk as well. But we're keeping it on Clinta and we're on the symbiotic surface. That is going to be fun. This is going to be a good one because we're going to start seeing some long-range compositions coming out. Definitely.
Yeah, some long-range compositions. That could be really good coming from Ground Zero. They're trying to capitalize on any potential weaknesses that Chopper Mag have. And though I say that, we did see that Phoenix play coming out from Bobo. I don't think long range is necessarily their technical weakness, but when I think of like the Vanguard lineups that come from Chopper Mag, they definitely do like doing some dive, but it's not like a... They do still like also, of course, keeping some range too, so they have that flexibility coming in, so I'm curious to see how Chopper Mag will come into this game.
Absolutely. Very curious to see. So honestly, I want to also go Revsy's Phoenix. Revsy's Phoenix was definitely a formidable force as well. I want to see just that extra little bit. But more than anything, I want to see Air Adam. I think we need to see Adam bringing out the Magneto, change things up a little bit. Let's see if that's an opportunity for them. But, you know, options are going for... Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
The Emma banned this early. Oh, someone's taking a different approach to the picks and bans phase. I like this. I think there's a thought process here. I'm keen to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, Dewey on the Emma Frost was pretty strong last game. And I'm not surprised here as well. They're choosing not to verse it once more. But what does Ground Zero want to protect? They want to protect the Emma Frost for themselves. Curious whether or not who will be playing that. As you mentioned, Adam is really good at that Magneto. But of course, they could also still play Emma Frost. They could play a number of Vanguards. So I'm very curious to see what Ground Zero will do now that they have lost their first ever game here in Marvel Rivals Ignite 2025 Stage 2 Oceania.
Okay. Adam banned as well. Not again. The Magneto Protect. Locking in the Dunkmaster duet right there. Strong pick from Chopper Mag. It makes sense. Again, it's always commonly, you know, the Magneto and the Emma, you want to make sure one's locked, and if the other one's banned now for you, you really got to lock in the other. I wouldn't be surprised if Ground Zero will lose access to Magneto on their side as well, just to balance it out. It would be a wise decision, but keen to see how the next double ban phase goes. Curious to see what the teams are going to target for each other. The Jeff! The double
What? No, I see it. Well, Chopper Mag did play Jeff in this game. The previous game, of course. Pethig unfortunately got... I say unfortunately because he is a duelist first and foremost, but I'm sure he loves playing Jeff as well. Got put on Jeff jail, and then after that it was passed over to... was it Skittles, I think, was forced on Jeff after that, or Salvation. So Jeff was passed around on Chopper Mag. Ground Zero didn't play Jeff though. So I'm wondering whether what was if this is just a very strong Jeff map. But Chopper Mag have decided to protect the Phoenix here. After seeing the Phoenix in the hands of Bobo, I'm not too surprised about that. Maybe Ground Zero were thinking about banning, but their ban is of course going to be Mantis. Now, will Ground Zero protect Mantis as well, or will they let Mantis maybe potentially get banned out and go for maybe a duelist protect?
Well, that's very interesting. If Mantis is slipping through the cracks here, that would be insane. Finding out it's going to be Luna as the final protect.
Okay.
Ground Zero, they're going to lock in Uma. Uma. I'm combining two names there. They're going to be comboing Luna. Oh, okay. Okay. I see now. Okay. So, for Ground Zero, they're not going to have access to 3 important strategists that are very pivotal on Symbiotic Surface, especially Ultron and Adam. The Jeff outsourced, speed boost is not going to be available for them as well. Same thing with Chopper Mag, no Jeff as well. No Ultron, but no Mantis. Mantis is available for Ground Zero if they decide to run it. The question is, will they? But they did secure Luna for themselves though, so that's pretty valuable.
I think also these 3 particular strategist bans that Ground Zero have been subjected to also make it really difficult to run a triple strategist backline. So they have completely nullified that, no Jeff, which is often quite seen in triple, no Ultron, which is often seen in triple, and no Adam, which is also often seen in triple strategist backline. So with this, it really does force a particular playstyle out of Ground Zero.
Definitely does indeed. Well, 15 seconds till those spawn doors open. We're going to see Ground Zero on the offense first with Chopper Mag holding it down on defense. I like the defensive composition I'm seeing so far coming out from Chopper Mag. Bringing back the group that we know. That's triple lined up, ready to go. Whereas Ground Zero have double offense. That's right. They do have Revsy on the Bucky, and Lou is rolling on the torch. Let's see if the 2-2-2 composition is the answer to triple. With a bit of range, with a bit of power. I will say skills on the Loki. Loki's a rare pick so far these past 4 days, but I would never sleep on the skills Loki. Very formidable when you least expect it. So let's see if we're going to see an angle coming from Lou trying to get an early pick. Bit of rotations coming out from Ground Zero as they're trying to get behind Chopper Mag.
Yeah, they're going for the high ground up here at the back of near the back of the point, trying to, as you say, get that rotation on. And I believe Chopper Mag would have definitely been able to see this happening, so they are aware. They're turning around, of course, to meet them. Bit of Pethic as well, trying to. Pethic actually, yeah, on the Captain America, of course, with their triple stack. So going in to try and get that angle on them as well. Skittles here on Loki to keep the kills up, but Lou with a flank is going to find Bobo. Bobo now taken out. Will have the cocoon available, but they're getting completely chased by Lou. Trying to find where the cocoon will take place. He does manage to get out and will potentially be able to get the cocoon off. As yeah, back to the 66 situation. Then Starry takes down Lou though in return. And so now it's a 5v6. Ground Zero with one less player. Atlas going to be able to use this invisible boundary though with another one to follow from Salvation.
Double boundary, Venn diagram moment right there. Trying to make it happen. Big strain prison coming up from Zen. Starry locking Ground Zero in, but they keep so sustained. Actually, that's 2 down. Big meteor, quick fire meteor from Grip. Then Sorry gets a pick, Skills gets a pick. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Taking out Hogs and Adam as well. And Lou to finish. That's going to be an ace right there. And Ground Zero are going to have to go for another push instead. From that, though, it was a good push. They didn't utilize any of their ultimates. And they took out 3 from Chopper Max. So it was a very effective push for them. Taking out the Meteor and taking out the Boundary. And, of course, Zen Starry utilizing that Straining Prison. Correcting myself, sorry. Atlas did use Boundary on offense there. But 1 for 3 is still great value.
No, I completely agree. 1 for 3. Ground Zero able to rotate and bait out the ultimates on Chopper Mag means that they do have a slight more advantage in this next upcoming fight. Now that they have that, Adam is going to be starting off the fight with his introduction, trying to find an angle. It's going to be mad. He's got Skittles copying out with the invisible boundary, but somehow Adam still does take that and now the ball again from Bobo to try and bring back the members of the teams that are falling from Chopper Mag, which does include Pethy, who gets revived as well. Now starting off strong with that freedom charge, but Ground Zero in the meantime have taken 1 tick, and now Netra is showtiming 30 both foes on the ground right now as Rezi also pops that Crackhead impact.
Meteor from Hogs trying to find the real one. Instead goes for Bobo, taking out the Adam Warlock right there. Pethic falls to Revzy, who is stolen on the Captain America right there, making it happen. Revzy is winding up the buck action right there. Goes for the hook, actually double hook spot strategist. The clean play from the bucky right there. Atlas takes out Skill Salvation and do it all 4 to the picks right there. Double from Revzy, double from Atlas, putting in the work. JZ do capture and start up the symbiotic convoy stage right now. But on top of that, I will say it is a good defense still for Chopper Mag, because Ground Zero only have 3 minutes to get to this midsection area. It's a bit tough, I won't lie. It's a bit tough historically on this map, but doable as well because they do have Psionic coming up.
Yep, Psionic is the ultimate that is coming up for Ground Zero. Chopper Mag do also have Meteor to match it. They're the only real ultimates that are coming up at the moment, the only ones above 70-80% at the moment. We do, of course, have Bobo here on Phoenix, and remember, Ground Zero are not able to play Phoenix in return, so that's why they're playing instead the Bucky and Human Torch. But what? So much damage coming out from Bobo. Not able to take anyone out yet from Ground Zero, but they're able to, of course, heal themselves back up to full HP. But they're still pushing. They have passed halfway, they're passed down the corner. So Chopper Mag are now starting a very strong fight here, starting to hold this defensive positioning. As you mentioned earlier, Duep here does have Magneto's Meteor ultimate, but not many others are still yet available.
Now's the time to activate. Adam does have Sonic online, but we're going to see Meteor coming out first. Actually is shot down by Pethic, taking out Hogs, taking out Netra. Big fire pressure coming out from the Human Torch right there. That does give enabling as they combine it with Duep's Meteor. But we get a pick on Adam and Lou taken down. That does stop Chopper Mag stops Ground Zero's push for now as they do regroup. Again, same situation, you know, only utilizing 1 ultimate to stop that push there. Not too expensive of a fight for Chopper Mag, but Ground Zero do have the advantage going to this next one, as they will most likely have 5 ultimates ready for this next fight.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what happens in this next fight, because as you mentioned, 5 ultimates for Ground Zero and only 4 for Chopper Mag, so things are going to get extremely explosive. Speaking of explosive, 2 Human Torch ultimates are available. Things to get Supernova, fiery on the ground. There is one. Pethic starting up strong. It's going to be met with the fate of both worlds from Netra to keep the team alive. But can they deal more damage than the healing and sustain element from these strategists. Now Lou is going supernova and going to be met with Skittles. Fatal both wells. Invisible boundaries available as well, but still Revzy is the first one to fall in this explosive fight.
An absolute explosion of healing and firepower coming out from the torches, from the absolute invisible woman right there. The fantastic forces in full effect for all the teams right there. But it's going to be Petty taking out Adam. Another one falls. That is going to be Atlas. Petty keeping on, putting the pressure right there. Skittles with a bit of ice. Looking nice, taking out Lou and Netra forces inside. That is again going to put Ground Zero on the back foot here. They got 40 seconds left, potentially one more, maybe two more fights to try and contest it back and keep it pushing. But ultimate advantage is on, I would say, the side of Chopper Mag right now. They'll have a Meteor for the next fight. Zenstar is ready with the Freedom Charge just to stall him out. But Revzy now on the Mantis, switching on. Hopefully, you know, Mantis was available for them, and it's a very highly rated pick. Maybe bringing it out earlier would have been beneficial.
I was going to say, I may have lied to you earlier, Liger, thinking that maybe the triple strategist was completely nullified because I'm so used to Mantis being completely banned out. But as you mentioned, Mantis did slip through the cracks here. So Ground Zero have slipped over onto the triple strategist backline for themselves, try and get the sustain and get this overtime over the line as low as Lou. Does take down Pethic once more, of course, but we have also so many ultimates and so much damage available in Bobo's hand. He takes down Hog, does get damage, has to pull back. Now comes down with Shadow, so alive and dealing damage to left. Combine that with the Meteor. Revzy has fallen despite using, of course, Revzy's Mantis ultimate. That's one more ultimate shot down to the Ground Zero. Skittles takes that Nectar as well. Atlas goes, no strategist left for Ground Zero. This might be the end of Ground Zero's attacking phase. Out comes so much damage from Chopper Mag, and they seal the deal.
Will they seal it for now? They are going to swap sides, change positions, of course. Not too much of the map to push. Pretty much halfway the entirety of Symbiotic Surface is the goal here for Chopper Mag when they go on the offensive. We might see a change with the composition. I might suspect this is when Chopper Mag bring out a bit of a dive composition. We'll see how that unfolds. But Ground Zero might be able to bring out the Mantis early here, and a full hold is definitely on the table for them. It could be something they serve up, but I like what I'm seeing so far. I think Hogs and Luke could bring out a Gamma team up that could be beneficial. It is good anti-air. It would help against the Torch, of course, if Torch is played again. Looks like Pettig might be hovering Wolverine, tempting fate, seeing if they can bring out that team up alongside Phoenix. A bit of mutant madness could come from those two, definitely again, but we'll see how it all unfolds, see what the picks are gonna be. Ground Zero now have a very tough defense ahead of them, but it is doable, it is honorable, and they can definitely make it happen if they play their cards right. I do think right here though, Mantis, big strong pick here. Early from Ground Zero, Resurgence alongside Atlas's Boundary and Netra's Fate of Both Worlds. Just, you know, just rotating those ultimates, you know, giving them an advantage will definitely just allow them to handle a lot of the attacking presence coming from Chopper Mag. But we'll see what happens ultimately. 5 seconds till those doors open. Let's see who's going to take it.
Yeah, the triple strategist backline coming out from Ground Zero, as you mentioned, is going to be very exciting to watch. We saw Chopper Mag run the triple previously, and now Ground Zero, not quite triple. They do have Luke here on the Star-Lord still, and well, Chopper Mag, they are going to be running a more standard 2-2-2 coming through. Pethig now going over onto the Winter Soldier, and Zenstari on the Groot. We did hype up the Groot earlier, you and I previously, in the hands of Zenstari. Let's see if he still lives up to our expectations, and I'm sure the audience's expectations as well, with this Groot being able to push up and get a bit more defensive with the walls and everything, of course. Bobo noticing the flank coming out from Blue, he's going to be able to stop them, and from Hogs as well, be able to prevent them from getting in onto their backline, the strategists. In the meantime, though, Revzy here, absolutely amazing shots coming out here on the Mantis, taking out Salvation. We can see, of course, why Mantis is so dangerous.
Definitely going to be danger if they don't try to activate right now, but checking in on the floor. Reminder to everybody, you know, destroyable terrain is a massive factor here on Symbiotic Surface, and that corridor up there just provides another high ground for the attacking team if they can make it into their advantage right there. But Rep's just going to walk up that ramp and just go straight for that high ground, turn it into his own. Even though they're putting him on a defense right there, Salve getting pinned down by Adam right there. Kick action coming from Emma, putting in the work. Adam is holding that front line, going to be joined by Hogs as well. In return, we are going to bring out Skills, the Fate of Both Worlds, but it's going to turn into a strangling prison. Coming out from Zinsari, group him on up, entering the first, diving back, strategist, Bobo taking out Netra and Atlas with an Ansong Inferno. Pethick turns around, uppercuts Adam out of here. It's going to be 3-4 down for Ground Zero. Rebsy picked off by Duep, and Bobo's going to be chasing the Venom down with a couple shots. Does get the pick on Hogs. Ooh.
Yeah, massive picks coming up from Bobo. He's being able to take down the two of the back line immediately as well. Netra and who was it again? Atlas as well being taken out was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Atlas was playing Invisible Woman. Now has actually switched to Doctor Strange, by the way. So they have instead gone for a 3-1-2 composition. 3 Vanguards, 1 Duelist, and 2 Strategists. And also the ultimates here. Like, there's so many. There's 5 in the hands of Ground Zero. Chopper Mag, though, are starting to build this up. Coming Zero currently, as Duep has now just got their Magneto Meteor ultimate.
There it is right there, making the momentum happen. Luke taking out Zed Starry, getting the big mix on the Starlord, making it happen. Ground Zero showing up to business right now. We get into a better position would be the ideal situation. Resi is there, Surgeons is online, could go big. Aiming directly for Bobo. Bobo gets out of line of sight for now. A lot of pressure coming forward from these Guardians right here. Seeing if they can ultimately push forward and try to get the value right now. They do need to make sure that Chopper Mag's not pushing, because they've got 3.5 minutes and barely 50-ish meters left to go. All they gotta do is turn one corner, going in for the boundary. Everything in the sky, burning it up. Somebody's trying to find their angle, find their mark into a fire slam, taking out Lou right there. He got out of position. Big burning power coming out from Chopper Mag. Bobo's taken to the skies as well. Big meteor coming up from Duep. These are gonna land, and it's on Revsy.
Yeah, Revsy taken out, but Skittles is going to be traded out. Salvation also Pethick. The members of Chopper Mag are falling one by one. Ground Zero are holding their ground. Ivan Meadow did get a few members as well, as Bobo also falls. And with that, Ground Zero do hold down the fort. Less than 3 minutes left. They have to hold this position for the best that they can, with only 1 ultimate available, only having the Feast of Abyss available for themselves. Chopper Mag, they do have 3 ultimates. It's a 1 of each role. They have a Zen Starry Freedom Charge, the fate of both boats in the hands of Skittles, and Pethick as well with the Supernova. We've seen that Supernova do so much damage previously, but Hugs is going to start this off with the Feast of the Abyss. It's going to be met with the fate of both boats, but Bobo, despite this, takes down 1. Pethick takes down another. The Duelist of Chopper Mag doing insane amounts of work here, Liger.
Insane right there. And taking out Ben Bobo goes as well, taking out Hogs and Rebsy. That is pressure coming forward from Chopper Mag right now. Ground Zero going to have to bring out a portal if they can try to make it, get fast, get speed. Looks like we're going to see Hogs try to go Angela. Angela's pretty quick, could make it. I see Adam going in, legs working. Captain America might get a stall, 2 meters, 1 meter. They don't make it by the bare meter. Oh my days, there it is. That's going to be the second map victory for Chopper Mag. A tough series for Ground Zero. That is a rough one.
A rough one, but it is going that cement and Chopper Mag as the undefeated team of Group B. Pethick MVP once more on the Human Torch. We saw him shine bright as a star in that first game. And now in the second one, absolutely phenomenal work. Chopper Mag 2-0 in this series. And of course, 3-0 in all of Group Stage.
Yes, indeed. 2-0. They did actually rock the house right there. An absolute stellar performance from Chopper Mag, you know. Lessons to be learned, everybody. They were called out the most, and they, hey, listen. The people said, the people talked, and they proved they could walk, I'll tell you that. So, a well-played series for the group stage by Chopper Mag. Ground Zero, however, still in the running, and will be in playoffs next week, nonetheless, even though a rough game here. But they've collected some information about their opponents. They got some time. They got a week to sort out what they're going to do the next time we see them on our screens, of course. And as we know, they won't be facing off against Chopper Mag immediately next week. They will take a little bit of a trip to Group A. But to find out who they're going to verse, that's going to be our next series. But for now, let's have a look at these highlights.
Salvation doing magnificent work for, of course, Chopper Mag so far, but also Ground Zero able to get some very important picks in this fight. Pethick here as well, being able to do so much damage, once again getting MVP again. Zansari being able to play a few different Vanguards today. We saw the group and now also the Captain America. But Bobo as well on the Phoenix dealt so much damage, definitely, and a force to be reckoned with in that sky. Chopper Mag with both the Human Torch and Phoenix did absolute amazing work.
Absolutely stellar performance coming out from the squad of Chopper Mag right there, netting themselves that third group stage victory. Ground Zero had a bit of a rough go there, a bit of an unlucky start. I will say, towards the end, a couple last second portals that just didn't give them the overtime fight they needed. They did manage to make it on that first map on Celestial Husk, but the fight timed out pretty quickly and they couldn't maintain that overtime struggle. And then when it came to that second round, of course, that second map at the end there, just on Symbiotic Surface, Captain America definitely dove on in, but just didn't make it by a bare millisecond, you name it, whatever unit of measurement you want to use. Honestly, his sweat could have made it. You never know.
You never know. Yeah, no, I agree.
You never know.
Yeah, it was so close for that final touch, but yeah, Ground Zero just a tiny bit short. The Captain America Adam could have maybe, I don't know if he took an extra dose of that's what the milliliter is, extra dose of a superhuman soldier to be able to get him that little bit faster.
Super soldier serum.
Yeah, exactly. He may have made it, but yeah, with that Chopper Mag, currently now the most undefeated team. But as you mentioned, the next game after this, that one is also going to be a very exciting one because Group A also have 2 undefeated teams in their group as well. It's going to be between Kanga Esports and Vulcan Red. They both are currently 2-0, and whoever wins will be seeded against Ground Zero, and whoever loses will be seeded against Chopper Mag. So of course, this is super exciting to see who is going to be playing against each other in the playoffs. It's all about the seeding. Of course, you want the best seeding possible, and of course, you want to, be the best and win all of the games in Group A.
Of course. Listen, at the end of the day, seeding aside, just keep winning. Just keep swimming, just keep winning. That's the mentality that these players need to have here down in OCE, because you got to keep fighting. You can't afford any loss down the line. It's going to be a rough one for Ground Zero today, but it's got a few days to hit the books, hit the scrims, hit the VOD reviews, figure out how they're going to tackle Chopper Mag if they get a chance to face off against them next week. But on top of that, they'll have another foe, and we'll find out very soon who it's going to be. But before that, we're going to set up a nice, amazing interview with one of the players from Chopper Mag. That's going to be a fun one to get into the mindset of Chopper Mag. See how they're feeling after a very successful group stage for themselves. But of course, the game's the game. We keep it moving, of course. I'm very excited for this next series, right? See, Vulcan, they're very formidable. We haven't seen this team before. We've seen these players, sprinkled around different rosters, but to see them come together, create a super team of themselves here in OCE and say, hey, we're coming through. We're going to be up there in the conversation alongside the best of them in OCE. Watch out, look at us, and we do it differently. We've got some, unique tactics, some obscure strategies, and I like that about them. I'm really excited to see how their matchup is going to be against Kanga. And another factor, Kanga, they're very formidable. They're actually known at the moment in group stage for hitting 2 reverse sweeps. That's right, 2-1 twice in a row. But what is the bad factor about
hang
that?
on. You're saying that but we had that discussion yesterday. Yes, they were really good at reverse sweeps, but it's because for some odd reason the domination is a bit shaky. So let's see if they have been starting after the last couple of days, whether or not the domination is strong enough. But we can't talk about that just yet, because we are still riding on the hype train of Chopper Mag. They have won the games 3-0, and now let's have a quick chat to one of the winning players.
Let's do it.
Hi! Oh my goodness, we got Zen here. Hi, Zen Starry. We have been singing your praises about your Groot and your Venom, and also, of course, we got to see your Captain America today as well. How do you feel about Groot in this current meta? We don't see many other teams running Groot as often as your team does. And do you think, what is his position currently in the meta at the moment?
I think Groot is pretty, it could depend on the player, but seeing for the fact that there's a lot of triple res comps with, Atom, Ultron, Mantis, etc., it works pretty well. And especially with how strong Phoenix and, especially like combo ults, you can make a big difference on Groot, especially into, these comps that you'll be seeing.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. I mean, look, Groot, you know, the ultimate, you know, bringing everyone into the party. You're enabling Duep with the Meteors. You can enable Pethig with the Supernovas, Bobo, and Son Inferno, you name it. You're just literally comboing with everybody on your team and enabling everyone. That's the role of the main Vanguard right there. But besides all of that, I want to know. Everyone's been talking about your team all week long. They said the team to watch out for is Chopper Mag. The team that is the front runners are Chopper Mag. They said that there's going to be a big close match here between Ground Zero. What was the mentality going into versing Ground Zero today?
Well, you know, we wanted to put on a performance because throughout the week we identified that they were clearly our biggest, you know, type of competitor that were in this tournament. So, you know, we were going into it, you know, just going hard and, you know, making the most out of it. So, yeah, I mean, it was just for the fact that realistically we wanted to just wipe them and seeing that they were our biggest competitor, you know, see how they would go against us, you know, possibly we might verse them in the finals or whatever, you know, that would be a big game. But yeah, you know, it was all vibes and seriousness. So.
That's good. Now, I also want to know, you've experienced the rush for the sole spot to OCE LAN in stage 1. You did make it to Guangzhou to play in the mid-season finals. So you've got a bit of experience over some of these other players as well, and your teammates as well know the feeling as well. I do believe there's a player on your team that didn't get to go to LAN, but did get to watch the experience live from the audience. I want to know, as a team right now, how important is it for you for your teammates that did make it to LAN to make it back again and not lose what you had last time?
It's so important. Like, I couldn't tell you how much, you know. At the moment, we're 99.9% sure that we're probably going to make it again. And you know, seeing for, you know, Skittles, he's had a very big rep in other regions. You know, just he's a well-known person. He's very smart and everything. And you know, it'd be good to allow him to have that opportunity. Also, you know, as to my other teammates, you know, Duep, Pethig, now Bobo and Salvation, you know, they've all been in a LAN environment, so you know, it would be wonders if we were able to make it again. But yeah, I mean, having Skittles there would be, you know, such an improvement, and you know, for him maybe, you know, it might be a dream or something. But yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys are very well looking like you're on the track to making it to the LAN, considering you are undefeated here in Group B, 3-0. And you didn't drop a single map either, not just like the entire series, but you didn't drop a single map, unless my memory serves me right. But I'm pretty sure like 99.99% as well that you guys did absolutely phenomenally in this group stage. But you guys aren't the only ones who are currently undefeated. Kanga and Vulcan Red are also undefeated in Group A. So I want to know your insight. Who do you think will actually come out undefeated in Group A? Do you think Kanga or Vulcan Red will be winning this next series?
Look, I said this to someone else, but honestly, I reckon, you know, shout out to my boy John Beck, but I reckon Vulcan Red is going to take it. I'm not going to lie. You know, they're looking a lot stronger on their comps. You know, from what I've seen, it looks like their dive is a lot stronger than what Kanga's are. So, you know, I'm mates with most of the people on each team, so, you know, that's just my predictions. I reckon Vulcan Red will probably take that next series, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, nothing personal, of course. This is just pure business, pure thinking. So, but yeah, no, I think every single member of every team how wonderful, and it's good to see everybody grow and improve, especially you as well. You've been growing and improving, and it's been wonderful as well to listen to your insights and watch your growth from LAN. Thank you so much for the interview, Zen, and good luck with playoffs next week. Yes, good luck with everything. Thank you.
Good luck. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, absolutely amazing to be able to speak to Zen Starry, one of the vanguards of course, Chopper Mag, who is undefeated 3-0 in Group B, and they look absolutely phenomenal. Super excited to see their journey, of course, through the rest of playoffs, but also Ground Zero, of course. They are also playing in the playoffs next weekend, and these two teams are looking phenomenal. But Liger, you and I, we've been alluding to this next series coming up between Kanga and Vulcan Red as well. We are both super excited, so let's prepare this for you guys in the audience as well. Let's prepare for the game, and we'll go on a short break.
거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 세계 운명 오랜 시간 간직해온 열망 까만 밤의 빛처럼 빛나 네 눈앞에 바로 어떤 나라 탑을 딱 봐도 superstar 딱 보면 모르나 널 지킬 나란 걸 꼬집혀볼수록 점점 빠져들어 카리스마 넘쳐 흘러 oh yeah 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작이야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명
Smoke screen! I'm hunkering down. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
I want your soul. Hell unleashed!
We are back here with Marvel Rivals Ignite, day 4 of the group stage. We just had the two giants of Group B versus off, both undefeated teams. But now there is only one undefeated team in Group B, and that is Chopper Mag. And now we're heading over to A to see these two undefeated giants. We're going to be watching Kanga versus Vulcan Red. Both of these two teams currently sitting at the top, at the pinnacle of Group A. Currently both 2-0.
Listen. It will not be an undefeated team going forward. I think this will be a 2-1 series. Because if history repeats itself for a third time, Kanga's going to lose domination and reverse. No, we don't know. I think it'll be different this time. I think it's going to be a nice competitive bout. Okay, these two teams,
Yep.
we've got statistics that tell us that they're equally matched. Okay? However, it all depends on what they can do better than the other. It all depends on different tactics they can bring out. Domination map is going to be pivotal because here's the thing.
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen if Kanga wins domination. They haven't done it yet. It'd be great to see them win it, to see something different, because something different means we don't know what we're in store for. And it can be the most insane bout. You never know. It could be a best of 3 series going to the whole 3 length. And on top of that, could be going into overtime and convergence as well, which we did have earlier in the week. And those were some of the best games to watch. But all the action, all the impact is starting up very soon here at Marvel Rivals Ignite OCE. It's going off. As you said, Ricey, this match is going to be big. It's a big one.
Yeah. No, I also totally agree. I think listening to what Zen Starry was talking about in the interview, they were predicting, of course, that Vulcan Red might be taking this match. So we might be able to be seeing what they are predicting as well, with Vulcan Red potentially having that happen. I think the other part you mentioned, of course, the domination map. I think the domination map is key. Vulcan Red, yesterday when we were interviewing the winner of this series, they were talking about how in that previous matchup, I can't remember exactly who they were versing. Let me quickly double check. But they were saying that they definitely wanted to target that domination map because they believed that Fury was really good at domination. So they studied hard on how Fury performed on domination. So I'm curious whether or not that studying does come through here. But Vulcan Red, they love you, Liger. They love you to the moon and back.
Yes, the Travelers of the Night. This is a happy day. Now, what for a fact, we're not seeing Moon Knight in game, but we will take the Moon Knight hovers all day, every day, and all night, every night, day and night, as what a Moon Knight would say. Now, done rhyming, let's get back in game. Adam Warlock has been protected, which is going to be a big pivotal protect for Kanga Esports, and we know Jongvek does it well. I'm excited to see that. But another thing to bring to everyone's attention, okay? I see some Widow hovers, could bring out the Widow again, you know? We've seen a crazy Widow yesterday, you know, a lot of action as well. Could be spicy, could be good, but let's rewind and adjust to the double ban. Both double bans, Ricey, were Ultron and Melio respectively. These teams, okay, if they're mirroring each other's thoughts in the bans, this could be a very close bout in the actual game.
Yeah, we did get to see Black Widow previously, and I think it was Vulcan Red that was actually playing Black Widow. I forgot who it was. I don't remember exactly who played Black Widow, but it's interesting about the Kanga wants to play that as well. Groot is going to be banned by Vulcan Red, and they're going to also protect the Amethyst. So the White Queen is going to be in play for both of these two teams. The final ban is going to be from Kanga. It's going to be Doctor Strange. We love seeing, I personally love seeing a Doctor Strange ban because it really forces the team to not rely on the portal crutch that Doctor Strange can sometimes have for that final last touch to keep the overtime going.
Definitely indeed. Well, you know, teams are locking in. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Good compositions. Emma's on both sides available. Obviously, Magneto not an option, so we're going to see Emma. Jeff is nice to see. We got Jeff banned out last map, so good to see something different. But Krakoa, it's been a while. I feel like I haven't seen Krakoa in a couple days. Did you have Krakoa yesterday, Ricey, on cast? Was Krakoa out and about?
That's a good question. I don't remember. I feel like Krakoa, I don't know, obviously all the chances are exactly the same, but for some reason, I think you're right, we haven't really seen much of Krakoa at all, and we do have Jeffs currently being hovered on both teams, so it is going to be a triple strategist lineup to start off with. There's no way Kanga is running a 4 strategist, right? No, Roku is going to be switching to the Doctor Strange. I was like, imagine. But this is going to be exciting because the battle is about to start here, Liga. We are going in, of course, to this exciting map here of Krakoa.
Okay, most likely they are going to be bringing out an early portal coming out from Rocco. They're going to try to split Vulcan Red in half as they blink in. And there it is, right in front of their faces. Anybody going for a pick right there? Eldritch Whip swinging from Rocco, trying to push Vulcan Red into the corner, but they retreat to the high ground like a unified front and move 2 point. Now, another thing to mention here, Angela is on the scene. TV Valkyrie brought it out yesterday, if I recall. Big presence in the sky. Let's see how it unfolds for them. Rocco is pushing on forward, trying to make it happen. Putting the pressure right now to Wav, who is suffering a bit of HP loss, but a big spear. Takes
what?
Spear from TV Valkyrie.
Amazing gameplay coming out from Team Valkyrie now. Rocco also falls from the side of Kanga Esports, and so does Isaac. All the Vanguards have been eliminated. Makes that also oh my goodness, all these strategists gone as well. Amazing work from Team Valkyrie here on Angela. We saw Team Valkyrie play Angela yesterday, and they did look good, but we weren't sure if this was going to be part of their normal game plan. It looks like this is part of their normal game plan, and they are confident with this Angela pick, and these amazing spears, these environmental kills have been phenomenal.
Unbelievable. I'm waiting all week to cast some Angela gameplay, and Tini Valkyrie is putting on a show right now. What I do want to bring attention to, Daxu can go into the Galactic Legend form when the time requires. Playing on the back foot for now, retreating to the point for now. 34% right now is the climb, but starting us off is going to be Wav hitting the silence right now on the flank. Taken down, John Beck, Chronic and so. Oh my days! All 6 of Kanga Esports fall to a well-angled, massive Psionic coming out from Wav with the extra sauce coming out from Daxu on the Star-Lord, shredding them as a Galactic Legend should.
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway
Absolute
point.
incredible performance, not just from Tini Valkyrie on the Angel. We saw those environmental picks, and they looked really good, but Wav, with that psionic seduction, the positioning coming out from Wav to be able to target all the members of Kanga Esports, forcing them into back in the squad, essentially. As Sogan starts off the next fight here with a massive eternal bomb on the ground. Tini Valkyrie, though, is going to be going in and disrupting as many members in the background as possible. And now comes also that spear into the ground to force them into that tiny little section. But Citrus may have been able to swallow. They swallow 3 of them. And 3 go off the edge. More environmental picks for Vulcan Red. But the resurrect from John Beck is going to be enough to bring back every single member. They do bring everyone back, but it is at the cost of John Beck's life. 92% the line of things are going to get dicey.
Absolutely, what a massive revival coming out from John Beck, who did get eliminated, but a big speed from Tini Valkyrie. Takes out John Beck, spearing the Golden Child. There it is, making it happen, moving forward. The shield is present right now, but 99% is the advantage for Vulcan Red. We see Kanga trying to push on Texi, taken out by Roxy's on the Luna. Pushing forward, Wav's diving in, overtime sticking down and out. I don't think anybody from Kanga makes it, and Vulcan Red take the first round of Krakoa in a stellar performance. I gotta bring attention to that Angela once again on the carousel, dropping Heavenfall, leading into the It's Jeff, which allowed Citrus to scoop up 3 and take them off the map massively. I believe it was 3 Vanguards that might have been inside the Jeff right there, which got absolutely thrown off. But Kanga's gonna bring it up a bit different now. They're gonna bring out some damage. We're gonna see some more. And I think they might be rolling out with a Gamma team up from Isaac and Rocco, but I did see a Bucky Hopper there. That could be a pick they need. But right now, the presence from Vulcan Red is very aerial. Tini Valkyrie is displacing them a lot on Angela, and what can Kanga do to try and counter that? Who displaces aerials ever more than Namor?
I didn't think aliens listened to K-pop.
No, yeah, the Namor pick is going to be very exciting to see, and of course the hope as well to keep that Namor pick spicy. Vulcan Red, they may have to be aware that this strategy is coming out. So Daxu here on the Star-Lord, I'm excited to see what happens with their Galactic Legend that is available and in their hands. Wav also has Psionic Seduction. We've seen Wav go absolutely crazy previously with that Psionic Seduction. Will they be able to replicate that exact same magic here in this second round?
Definitely right there. This pseudo dive composition coming out from Vulcan Red with Daxu on the Star-Lord, even with Citrus on the Jeff and Valkyrie flying through the waterfall right there. Absolute Angela presence, just spearing straight into the back line there. As we know, the momentum is everything right there. Double axe form can be effective when you time it right. Right, Broken Dagger, setting it off. Solman hitting the Eternal Bond, bringing it back onto the point right there, bringing a fight into a group stasis right there. And a big spear, and a big spear. I think they jumped back to safety, but they're going to meet Angela in the sky.
Yeah, no, they did get back into safety, and it is actually going to go the way of Kanga Esports, not just the point, not just the capture point, but also the fight as well. Lick does forward, same with Daxu. And so the members now of Vulcan Red are slowly getting staggered. Some of them are jumping off the edge. Wav here, though, is going to get staggered out as well. Finally does manage to get that reset. But Kanga Esports being able to capture that point fairly early is already at 20% and climbing up.
Automatically what we're seeing here is exactly what you need to do when you're facing off against such a pseudo flying composition with the Angela presence. You got to bring Namor out. Namor is going to help you have consistent line of sight and damage using your squids to just focus in on Angela's presence. Just allow you to find out where she's going to be flanking from. So it's going to be a tough run for Tini, but they do have Angela's heaven fall ready when the time comes. At the same time, Kanga's going straight for Angela. Sonic Seduction coming out from Wag to match the pace. Both Texie as well is landing that Sonic Seduction. John Beck going to get speed. Wide! Two Valkyrie right there. John Beck taken down. Has Cocoon available. Lick takes out Solman. Monster Hulk is raging, but doesn't get the full effect they need. However, they do score. They do give a presence and their percentage is climbing. As Vulcan Red tried to capture it back.
They do, but it's going to be difficult with that Monster Hulk on the ground. They do manage to get quite a lot of damage, though, and Daxon are going with that Ensong Inferno. Does even more, but John Beck does have that revive available. Has in fact 2 members, of course, once more, but wait, Citrus has managed to bomb John Beck. This poor John Beck keeps getting thrown around the place with both Tini Valkyrie on Angela and Citrus here as well on the Jeff. Vulcan Red just completely disrupting the backline of Kanga Esports, and now, of course, Rocco will follow suit.
Such a mobile unit, Vulcan Red. They have so much speed because of Citrus on Jeff, just outsourcing all of that towards their team. The slowest on their team is honestly Emma, and it doesn't even matter because Emma is just an absolute unit. That's Wav right there. But they're climbing their percentage up, trying to match Kanga's lead that they already achieved. But Rocco's got that Horn of Proteus online. It could be big if they can group them up nice and easy, but they need a bit more offense right there to try and sustain them forward. Proxies does have Fate of Both Worlds if they try to start a fight. Kanga's gonna need to activate here if they can try and get Chronix built up to Fate of Both Worlds. They already have the Eternal Bond and they're gonna start it off with Solman, pushing on to point to start a fight. Everybody's going in, everybody's rocking on in. The Horn of Proteus has been called and the whale pushes down onto Proxies. Daxu and Lick are taken out by Kanga.
Yeah, Kanga are winning this fight, and good thing they do because Vulcan Red had only just overtaken them. They have 71% percentage for the control point, while Kanga Esports, they're now just approaching the 70% mark themselves. Looking at the ultimates though, Liger, things could get dicey. Kanga Esports have actually a few coming online. Chronix does have Fate of Both Worlds. Texie is 8% away from Psionic Seduction. Isaac as well, 15% away. While Vulcan Red, they already have 3 ults. So close having a 4th, and a Lick may be also on the way to get that 5th ult. So Vulcan Red do have an advantage, but also John Beck did get taken out. Cocoon is available. He will come back for this next fight, but I'm curious to see how Tini Valkyrie will be using this ultimate that he is down into the ground. It's going to be followed with Psionic Seduction from Texie, as John Beck finally gets out of that cocoon as well. Also, Psionic seduces the team.
There it is. Isaac on the Gamma Beast right there, the Hulk moving forward and absolutely hitting the exile onto them right there. It's going to be a Monster Hulk in the midst of it all, matched with the pace webs trying to diamond form. It's the big snap keep taking us on. 1-to-1 on each side of falling, but you got to keep eyes on the Atom. Who's going to have that Karmic Revival. Zhongvek's going to bring him back, and there it is, Citrus 6-3 off the map. But it's still gonna be in favor right there for Kanga, who did hold point contestation during that. It was an honorable effort by the Jeff, but it's going to be tied up here on the Grove, and we're going to settle it in the Cradle.
Krakoa is 1-0 at the moment between Vulcan Red and Kanga Esports, the top 2 teams of Group A. They have not lost the series just yet, but remember, Kanga Esports They are the kings of going 2-1, of, coming back with a reverse sweep. But this time, they may change the story. They may change the script. And they may be able to win their first domination here in Marvel Rivals Ignite, Stage 2 of Oceania.
It could be, change is good. Spices things up, gives us different variables to consider. But it looks as though Vulcan Red's confident they can hold it down on similar composition. In fact, they might actually bring out Adam Warlock themselves. Bring in proxies onto Adam, try to match Strong Vex Adam as well, so that they can have Karmic Revival as well, and they can stay in the fight just as long as Kanga do. But Kanga do have their bread and butter achieved right now, because they're confidently keeping that Gamma team up in effect right there. Honestly, anything else they might want to add to it, throw in a little bit of Panther, could be a high pick there. But on this map especially, harder to take people. Actually, no, it's not. I apologize, let me correct myself. There are a couple pits that Team Valkyrie could speed people off into with a bit of good positioning, but at the end of the day, roaming around, Exile's going to catch Team Valkyrie out from Isaac, who's on the hold. Us against the world as the Eternal One is clicking off from Solomon, who all starts the fight, and a big chance for a whale to go right here.
Oh, what?
So big.
I had no idea what was going on. Would go off into that fight. Team Valkyrie did manage to spear Rocco there, but then Rocco immediately popping the whale and getting a double KO at least for themselves. Really well played by Rocco, being able to figure out where they were and how to capitalize on their new positioning that Team Valkyrie was nearly able to take them down from. And now with this point does go, of course, to Kanga Esports. Taxi does have sound introduction available for themselves in this next fight, but Vulcan Red do have even 2 ultimates potentially in this next fight, with Daxter about to have final judgment. Things will get spicy as Wayne Taxi gets stunned out of their ultimate, so now the final judgment from Taxi is going to be met by Iconic, who has the fate of both worlds to keep the team alive, but Team Valkyrie has got to bring down the spear and go and capture many members of Kanga Esports. It's also going to be met by Wad here with time introduction. Combine these 2 very strong Vanguard ultimates as Foxes now bring back the team of Vulcan Red.
There it is, the revival on their side now for Vulcan Red. See if they can play the same game. And there they are, they're all dropping in from the portal. Coming back into the fight from the high ground, but Rocco's going to be on the high ground the same. Dropping squids, dropping the whales directly onto the squad right there. Oh, and counteracting, taking that Team Valkyrie. Big pick from the Maw, who also carries a spear. So somebody's got to see who's the real speed master here. That Fox is going to take out Daxu right there. Isaac's back in the fight from a revival. Pushing forward is John Beck. 84% climbing for Kanga Esports right now. Roxy's taken down. It's looking very, very beneficial for Kanga to stall out this fight. Keep it slow and try to stagger out Vulcan Red's picks right there. They're going to be chasing the Citrus Jeff right there as Isaac is just pummeling forward. And the more they're chasing through the portals, the Jeff that lives, Citrus does not want to go down.
Please.
Jeff is still running around as best as they can, but they better get back to the point too. 96% and counting. Vulcan Red are here to match them, but they don't have any ultimates to back to as Isaac goes Monster Hope. Solomon takes out Team Valkyrie. That's one member missing as Daxter now uses final judgment trying to turn things around for themselves. Get anyone. They are able to reduce Isaac down to be just a Bruce Banner. And can they do more? One Vanguard missing as now Chronix has lost their also fate of both belts in their hands. So with only no strategies on the side of Kanga Esports, they just want to fight. Takes against 1, against 2, and Strongback now also falls for their team. It's back and forth, but a massive, maybe a potential big Citrus Jet. Oh, it is not as Rocco shuts it down, shuts down another. The fight just keeps going on as now Helix and Doctor from Flav keeps us going in to this net, continuing on into overtime.
And there it is. Krakoa is claimed by Kanga. They do take it. Hey, look, in a way, it was still technically a 1-2 reverse sweep. They still kept the prophecy alive for Kanga. But Kanga do actually take it right there. They did take victory. It was a bit of an overtime fight shenanigans, but it's going to be a dub there. Chronix with the MVP. Kanga Esports do take this round of domination. It was a strong start from Vulcan Red, but Kanga got their footing and they maintained it when it came down to that presence from the Gamma team up. I really do want to say it reminds me of Kanga Esports of old back in stage 1. They were very formidable with that Hulk, with that Namor. Different players, but still a very signature style from Kanga Esports. Keen to see how it's going to unfold in this next match, as our pattern has been broken. I'm keen.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ricey, what are we thinking? Convoy or Convergence? What's it going to be?
Well, it is going to be Vulcan Red's choice here to choose the next map. Domination did go the way of Kanga Esports, and as you mentioned, they have finally broken the curse. They performed extremely well, especially on those second 2 rounds, able to, you know, turn things around for themselves, able to lock down, I guess, TD Valkyrie, who was reigning in the skies with amazing environmental picks as well, but they turned things around, as you mentioned, with that Namor, the whole pick. I think that really was the deciding factor. WAV, amazing ultimates coming out as the Emma Frost. And Tini Valkyrie was absolutely phenomenal to watch on the Angela. We haven't really seen much Angela other than in Tini Valkyrie's hands. But Lick here as well, of course, was phenomenal on the strategist, and same with Daxu as the Phoenix. But Kronos was able to get some very important fate of both worlds out for Kanga Esports to keep the team alive. But I think also the Adam Warlocks, they were definitely one of the talks of the town in this game. The Adam Warlocks with the revival, the comic revival, was absolutely game-changing in quite a lot of these fights.
Absolutely couldn't agree more than that. It's why Vulcan Red brought out an Adam of their own with proxies, trying to make it happen, get that value that they needed as well. But on the other side, there was a big presence from Angela, which was nice to see from Tini Valkyrie. But once the more from Kanga came into play, it really changed the game for them. Gamma team up seems to be the counter to that pseudo die fly composition that Vulcan Red are running. However, Vulcan Red got more up their sleeves, so we're going to see what they alternate to. Same for Kanga, who actually have a strong record on Convoy and Convergence.
They do have a strong record on, I think both of these teams have strong records on both of the next 2 maps, considering, you know, Kanga has had a 100% win rate on anything that isn't domination. But we'll find out exactly what happens, of course, what Vulcan Red will be picking, which map, and of course, which side they'll be picking right after this break. We'll be seeing you guys on the other side.
누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 어둠이 떠 날때까지 세계 운명 오랜 시간 간직해온 열망 까만 밤의 빛처럼 빛나 네 눈앞에 바로 어떤 나라 탑을 딱 봐도 superstar 딱 보면 모르나 널 지킬 나란 걸 더 지켜볼수록 점점 빠져들어 카리스마 넘쳐 흘러 oh yeah 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작이야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내게 주어지는
We are back here in the middle of Marvel Rivals Ignite. Of course, Oceania is our region, and we are in Group A right now with Kanga versus Vulcan Red. Both of these two teams have not dropped a series. They have dropped games here and there. One thing that we do like bringing up, I'm so sorry for Kanga, I'm sure it's a sore spot at this point in time, is that Kanga has not been able to win a single domination yet. Until now. Kanga has won their first domination map, but on the other flip side, they have won every other series still. They have won every other map other than domination. So now Vulcan Red are being put in a very pressured situation. Are they able to then win this next map and tie it up, or is Kanga's experience on these other maps going to shine through?
Yeah, 100%, couldn't agree more. There's a lot of factors to consider here. Kanga's got their domination win. How is it going to unfold right now? So Vulcan Red, they got strategies, they got plans. Can they pick the right map here that is Kanga's weakness when it comes down to convoy and convergence? Because so far, Kanga's record is impeccable. They got a big brain coach, Hades, leading them, giving them some advice, giving them some insight, and having a little bit of banter in the chat. I see you having a good time. But there it is. That's going to be that first map for Kanga versus Vulcan Red. It's going to go to Kanga. I'm keen to see how this next one unfolds as we get into lobbying, we get into the action. Yep. There's going to be certain maps here that lend towards your pseudo-dive flyer compositions that Vulcan Red like to bring out. There's going to be maps here that also benefit the Jeff pick. I believe Jeff is a common pick they like to bring out as well. But looks like we're going to the Empire of the Eternal Night. That's right, we're going to Central Park, aka Dracula's Castle. This is going to be a good one. Haven't seen this map in a minute. I won't lie, a lot of symbiotic surfaces have been happening, but the good thing about this map, Ricey, portals are necessary in certain points in the map, and you can bring out flyer compositions as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Vulcan Red, I'm sure do want to prioritize that flying composition, or maybe they will decide to run with a more standard composition and not run the Angela. But I think the other thing we do need to highlight that yes, Kanga Esports have a 100% win rate on any map that is a domination. On the other hand, Vulcan Red have 100% win rate full stop, apart from that game that they just lost. That previous game, that domination map, was the first time they lost ever in this group stage. And now here we go. Will they first time lose this series? Is the first time they'll be losing a series? Or will Kanga Esports step up here and also win 2-0? Or will Vulcan Red tie us up?
You're right. Honestly, like, I could not believe it. We anticipated today was going to be some intense 2-1 series. If there's even a reality, Kanga win this map, put a 2-0, put themselves into first seed alongside Chopper Mag, our predictions are out the window. And then that takes us to Brainstorm versus Exodia. I can't even wait for that because I'm predicting a fun time there. But rewind it back to the picks and bans here on our screens for Vulcan Red versus Kanga Esports. The Jeff has been protected for Vulcan Red, and it looks like seeing some Iron Man. Iron Man's a good pick here. Actually highly contested and really good. When I'm talking flyers as well in this map specifically, I wouldn't bring out your Angela. I would bring out Human Torch. Torch is a big pick here. Invisible Woman, probably the most sought after strategist in our current meta. Why? Because she makes it through the ban phase. Let's just be honest. The rest of the ban, so she's going to be there.
That's a good point. Because speaking of this ban phase, we've lost Ultron on both teams. We've lost Mandus on both teams. Jeff will be protected from Vulcan Red, and Kanga is actually going to be protecting the Adam Warlock. We saw some crazy Adam Warlock plays in the previous map, but things on this half of the pick and ban phase is actually going to be leaning towards the Vanguards. Magneto and Emma Frost has been banned on one side only, with Vulcan Red deciding to protect the Emma Frost, while Kanga decides to ban out Luna Snow for their final ban, and their final protect, they want to protect Magneto. So it's going to be Magneto versus Emma Frost here on Central Park.
Oh, yep, we called it. One team gets another, you cannot let them have the other. We're locking in. Isaac's gonna be the master of magnetism, while Wav is gonna be the White Queen. But I am seeing something I like. I like seeing some grit. I like seeing the Texie thing. It's been a minute, but if we're checking our watches, it might almost be clobbering time. But another thing to consider here is there is a fastball team up that can be combined if Rocket does roll out with the Wolverine, but I have no doubt about it. Eyes on the real duelists here. Not your duelists that are there actually on the duelist roll. We're talking about Proxies and John Vick on the Adam Warlock, the real duelist down here, who's putting in the work and the damage and bringing their team back in every fight. But I also think this is a great map to bring out the Bucky. So if Dax is going to bring out that Bucky that we know, Dax might be the one to get another Hexa KO here in Marvel Rivals Ignite. I'd like to see it. I'm excited to see it. We're going to Dracula's Castle. Ricey, if you know Moonlight, he's looking for Dracula. He owes him $5. We're going to help him get $5. More importantly than that, Ratatoska is on the map, your best friend. It's going to be a good time.
No, that... wait, how do you say it again? Could you...
Ratatoska.
Ratatoska is absolutely adorable. Ratatoska. So cute.
3, 2,
I'm excited to see Ratatoska get unleashed and start the trip. But of course, it's all up to Kanga Esports. Are they able to release Ratatoska and then take us towards, of course, Dracula's throne room? Texi here is going to be playing Groot and it's going to be met with what? Okay, well, Daxu just gets eliminated straight away, which does mean for Vulcan Red have one less player, and Clay Proxys gets eliminated too. Daxu is rolling out with this double KO immediately. Kanga Esports is doing a phenomenal job. Rocket taking out WAV as well. Vulcan Red just falling to pieces one by one, and they're able to take this first tick immediately. Vulcan Red do have a portal available in the hands of WAV. May be able to touch again, and they are regrouping here like it. This is very much a last-ditch effort for Vulcan Red to drop. This is being disastrous.
really did a nice deep
Oh my days, a clean capture for Kanga Esports right there. Holding confidence, holding the walls, hold it down. As they are getting Ratatoska on the move right there. Isaac getting a double KO, taking out Dax to the second piece there. Moving forward, Vulcan Red on the run back to their spawn to regroup. Eyes on the charge here. Not a single person has their ultimate ready. The closest will probably be Texi and Valkyrie with the Strangling Prisons from the Groots. Could be a big pick. Combine that with something. Could be value. Proxies is going to switch to Phoenix. A bit more of an open area here. A bit more long range. Something that can help them match the damage coming out from John Vex Adam would definitely be a pick for them.
Yeah, totally agree. This John Vick Adam could change things quite good for Kanga Esports once they get that revive available. But Texi now does have that Strangling Prison, and Daxu is trying to get a good angle, not quite yet able to. Texi does use Strangling Prison. Tenny Valkyrie is the one that's going to be falling first, targeted by Chronix. And they've got to keep pushing forward now. That car, the mission vehicle, Ratatoska is walking nice and slowly forward. Lick does use invisible boundaries, but not before they lose Web. They are losing more and more members, and Solomon now with the internal bond on the ground keeps Kanga Esports to stay.
Wait a minute, I believe I hear the Magneto, but I'm waiting for it to crash. And it doesn't. Instead, Rocco is going to be the one to crash down like a meteor with the Wolverine last stand. Chronix is going to be also getting a pick there. Going straight for it. Citrus taken out by Jean Beck. Big Adam Warlock presence. Very the Bloodworld's timing in from Chronix, keeping this to stand. Kanga keeping on, pushing up the ramp straight to the double doors of Dracula's Castle. I don't believe Vulcan Red had the time to contest. And we're already straight into the third and final section of Central Park Ricey, and their time bank is 5 minutes and 20 seconds. That is an insane time bank going into this section.
No, you're completely right. 5 minutes 20 is absolutely insane for this final section. Going up these staircases is going to be difficult though, of course. Don't want to fall down into the abyss once they get to that stage. And well, Kanga Esports are moving forward, but Vulcan Red are going to start trying to contest a little bit. Proxy's now with the Ensong Inferno available. Things can get exciting from their end, as they are now ready to start doing quite a lot of damage onto the members from the high ground. Rocco does manage to kidnap and drop Titty Valkyrie. I mentioned that abyss, but Titty Valkyrie getting a taste of their own medicine as a massive loss that comes down from Rocco. 1, 2, triple KO.
That's actually, it cleans up with a quad as well. Daxu went crazy there with the Wolverine last stand. There's high value. Finally, shutting down the momentum of Kanga Esports. This is where they need their time. This section of Central Park is definitely the hardest to push. You've got an uphill battle, literally. Hold on a minute. I take it back. There's no uphill battle. It's a battle in the midst of the throne room as they pull directly in with Texi Island. Melo crashing in. Melted in with the Ensong Inferno going straight for Solomon. Burning up Rocco as well. Texi taken out by Lick. Making the momentum happen. Daxu there, but just when you thought Kanga did explode with a couple of ultimates to set him up, Vulcan hit the counter, played it right, played it concise, and they do stop a quick push from Kanga. But Kanga still 4 minutes in their time bank. was a good quick fight for them just to utilize some pressure to take out Proxy's and Lick's ults there, which gives, and Daxter as well, which gives them just a bit more to work with on their next push.
Yeah, a little bit more to work with on the next push. As you mentioned, lots of ultimates in their hands. Well, Vulcan Red, they're getting close to getting some, but still one less than Kanga Esports has. 3 minutes, 20 on the clock, so much time still available for Kanga Esports. They'll be starting up with Eternal Bond from both teams, and now out comes the Meteors. This one from Isaac, looking for that Eternal Bond. It just does get taken out, but Tex in the meantime does too. Final stand, this time from Rocco, taking down Liz. But there's still more to come with Grab using Sayana Seduction will fall. Revive coming out though from John Beck does revive Chronic. They are back in the fight, and they also do have that Fate of Both Roads available online for them. Isaac will take down Tinny Valkyrie, and then second chance is over as Kanga Esports will walk into this throne.
They definitely will, but they'll have time to contest Vulcan Red. They do have Anton Inferno, or have Heaven Fall when the time comes as well, but John Beck's lining it up on the sidelines and having a bit of a duel and takes out Proxy. With a bit of backup on the squad. Heaven Fall goes in, boxing them all in, meet it up with the Fate of Both Worlds, seeing where is there going to be the impact from. The ultimate combination doesn't manage to get value. Chronic is there with the Fate of Both Worlds. Give him sustain, pushing in, Texty there, the switches are making it happen. Last stand scripts him up, but it doesn't deliver them to the point. Big picks from out Texty. Isaac going in, Anton Inferno timed down and taken down, and it's going to be Kanga pushing. Don't think Vulcan Red have a chance to contest, and the time is done. Kanga Esports do push to the end of the throne, straight to Dracula's doorstep. 2:16 left in their time bank. Now it's Vulcan Red's turn.
They are switching side. Vulcan Red is now on the attack. We saw some interesting picks coming out from both of these two teams. I think one major one we want to talk about, of course, is that Wolverine in the hands of Rocco. Rocco, though, now considering going for Blade, which I think will be exciting to see, of course. Yeah, I know you're going to be excited for that. Like a Blade, I think on this map especially is going to be really fun. But I don't know if that will stay. Of course, they're still considering things. I think Vulcan Red, though, with both the Groot and potentially the with Kanga Esports having an answer for both Groot and the Angela, does mean that Vulcan Red do have to switch up their compositions a little bit in the Vanguard situation.
Listen, I'll tell you, I've been having some conversations with some of the pro players in the scene. There are theories around Blade. I genuinely believe Blade is an actual counter to Wolverine and Emma, which is big. Having a counter to Emma is very big. Now, I might get blasted by chat, but I'm waiting to see who is going to finally bring out their Blade on the Ignite stage and prove me right. But at the moment, we'll be on copium until then. But Daxter is on the Panther, which I like to see. Something spicy, something different. Bring out a bit of that. Maybe mixing it up, bringing Hulk, maybe getting that Gamma team up could help them again. Seeing how they can bring it up. But it's going to be a portal early from WAV, and I think they're going to go for a direct brawl from the high ground behind Kanga. They're going to utilize that health pack, of course, just as an extra beacon for them to use.
Yeah, huge position coming out from Vulcan Red, being able to get this high ground and do lots of damage from above. Kanga Esports, though, very well aware of this positioning now, have turned their heads towards them, blocking their sights. WAV falls down onto the ground, trying to contest against Texy, as they do a little bit of damage, but of course, we see Tinny Valkyrie here on the Angela going in for the high ground, going in to try and find someone to disrupt the backline and pick somebody off. But still, nobody has fallen just yet in this battle. Time is ticking by, but neither team are letting up.
There is pressure coming from Citrus on the C&D. Dex are trying to hit the flank on Panther, trying to find the angle again. Panthers, look, they roam around. They try to find that one opportunity to absolutely blast off. But speaking of blasting off, is going to be the Ensom Inferno coming out from Proxies into the Panther spear from Dex, taking out Chronix as well. Tinny Valkyrie slashing with the hatchets of Angela right there, making it happen, taking out Pixie. Battle axes are going. Claws are swiping from Dex. Rocket's taken down, putting them on the back foot. It looks like Kanga's been taken out for a little bit, but they still have time to stall it. Vulcan Red's capturing. Kanga do have a sliver of a chance to contest here. Just depends if they're going to commit, because I think Texas Portal is going to be it.
They commit. The portal is here, and Kanga Esports have come through to save the day. just in time. But out comes Liquid in. What? The invisible boundary was used, but gets completely nullified by John Beck and takes down Lick immediately. Bowman now has the invisible boundary available and active on the spot of the field right now. Heaven goes far to the outside, and Red follows with a massive eye of Agamotto. It's huge. Wow, the Daxter eliminating Kanga Esports 1 by 1. But Citrus also falls as well. Rocco is walking back from the fight and is able to take that project in the meantime. But out comes the revive coming up from John Beck. Kanga Esports are still in the game. They're still defending and holding fast.
Down. 2 minutes left in the timing for Vulcan Red's attack. Need to win one fight here to get more time in the bank and start pushing with Tosca to Dracula's castle. Eyes on the prize right there, seeing what they can do. Kraken Impact is online for Rocco. So if Vulcan Red commit and get a bit risky with the commit, they will be able to return it with a bit of impact. But Texie's on the front line, holding it down with defense. Going toe-to-toe with Wav right now, backed up as well by Isaac. The double shields are a good presence. And at the same time, you know, Wav and Tiny Valkyrie do have shields of their own, but a bit more mobile and a bit more aggressive in their approach. Jongvek's on the high ground, Tiny Valkyrie trying to look for the angle. Daxu as well, building up to that Kraken Impact, but waiting to see who's the pick. Rocco retreating to the team. Speed by Val. Is it going to be enough? It needs a Rocco in the skies.
And out comes Kraken Impact going down onto Web, 1 second, again and again. Trying to get more, but I'm not going to get used by Takesy. Not sure who they find, but Daxu finds one onto Rocco, taking out their fellow Winter Soldier. Now it is available his turn to go Kraken Impact. And the impact lands, and Somito takes down Proxy. Kitty Valkyrie fall. Kanga Esports are holding down this defense with only 40 seconds left. Vulcan Red do have to regroup. Daxu does fall with that Kraken Impact as well. No impact from that ultimate. As the dust settles though, there's only 30 seconds left. Here, Liga, things are going to get desperate for Vulcan Red.
Literally, there's nothing more desperate than knowing you're going to have to get that portal going, wind it up, get that Pentagram for Ala ready to go. Tiny Valkyrie's on the strange. They can definitely walk onto point to contest. They don't have to rely on the portal just yet, but Lick's ready with the boundary when they need. Rocco's there on the Psylocke, going head-to-head with Daxu on the storm. Everybody's alternating their dual speaks right there. Charge is building. Ultimates are on the horizon. Citrus is starting with the bond, having a bit of a duel with John Beck taking out the other. He does have Cocoon online, but at the same time, there's an Agamotto, and it could be built up this time. Texie's got Agamotto next fight. Big Eldritch Whip taking out Rocco. Jongvek cocoons, and let's see how it all unfolds. Isaac does get a pick there. Roxy's and Agamotto drops in.
Okay, I'm very curious for the jump back. Yes, I just got that Atomic Revival. Uses it immediately, bringing back Chronix, bringing back Rocco. But Texie has fallen and is brought back, of course, and are coming through from that corner of where the revive is. Tiny Valkyrie has fallen to Texie. Citrus, wherefore these final picks coming out from the revive that John Beck was able to get off the cocoon. The Comic Revival, Kanga Esports take this map. They take the entire series.
They absolutely do indeed, and they get their 5 back spot from Dracula for the Moonlight and claim Central Park. That is a stellar performance from Kanga Esports. MVP Chronix again, absolutely doing it up on the Luna. Such massive value from this team. Such effective utilization of their hero pool. Massively well-earned victory for them here. And they do lock themselves in. That's right, Ricey. They lock themselves in. They break the curse. They got domination. And they also got convergence. And they're going to be seed 1 alongside Chopper Mag next week in the playoffs.
Yeah, super exciting for Kanga Esports to get this first seed from Group A. Absolute excitement for, of course, the next weekend where playoffs will happen. This does mean that Ground Zero will be versing off against Kanga Esports next weekend, and Chopper Maga will be versing against Vulcan Red. It's going to be super hype, Liga. But today, let's have a look at, Kanga Esports and, of course, all these stats coming through. MVP to Chronix, so much healing, 30,000 healing coming out from Chronix. An absolute star Lunar Snow player.
Absolutely. I want to get into the highlights, of course, the highlights of the matchup of Kanga Esports versus Vulcan Red here on Central Park. This was a good performance, definitely coming out from Kanga. Isolated the picks that they needed, managed to get the value they needed, did push it to the end and start off very strong. The Wolverine was nice to see. He spiced things up, made the game way more aggressive. Both Daxu and Rocco brought out an absolute menacing Wolverine. The Mutant Madness was on point, but I've also hit some Agamottos, hit some Maelstroms, but Texi was just that one strange who had that tick extra more that they needed to just get the goals they wanted. Solomon as well putting in the work, a lot of sustain pouring in. Jean-Vic was just on the mark as well. And you could see it one after another, especially on such a stellar defense, holding it down for about 4 to 5 minutes, not allowing Vulcan Red to even enter the pushing stage of this map. So there it is, a well-earned 2-0 series for Kanga Esports. And I'm excited to have an interview very soon. We're going to have a chat with one of their players. But yeah, Ricey, that is a big performance from Kanga, a definitive performance. Another 2-0 in our top-seeded teams in each group. Another 2-0. How interesting.
Yeah, these teams have come with such ferocity from both of these groups, of course. With Kanga Esports winning this 2-0, it's so good to see them step up, of course, in domination. It did look a little bit shaky to start with, of course, with a strong showing coming from Vulcan Red in that first round, but things started to falter from the side of Vulcan Red, and Kanga Esports stepped up. They looked real strong. And I'm excited to see what they bring. Both of these two teams, of course, bring us in the playoffs next week.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait for that as well. Playoffs are going to be good. It's going to be great fun. But now we kind of know the top 2 teams at the moment. Kanga Esports and Chopper Mag. They're very similar, these two rosters, you know. I've crossed paths before, but I'm excited to see how that's going to unfold in the playoffs. But they won't be facing each other yet. They'll be facing the alternates, of course. So, as you said, Vulcan Red will be taking on, of course, Chopper Mag first off, and then Kanga Esports will be taking on Ground Zero. So, exciting to see how that matchup goes. It'll be cool to see the battle of the OCE orgs as well. It's going to be a good one. But Kanga Esports, definitive performance here. I really like what I saw. I really like that they had some unique picks that they brought out. I feel like we also kind of time traveled a little bit. Kind of went through a little bit of a Quantumania moment, and we went back to a meta that kind of reminisces maybe 2 to 3 months ago. The Wolverines were out. We saw some Namor and Hulk. It was very spicy. It was very good. There was the different factor of Angela. Angela, I believe, definitely a great pick, but very map dependent. Definitely was a bit rough on certain maps there. Not getting the fully realized value they needed. Maybe if the domination map was Hell's Heaven, it would have been that extra bit more reliable. But Krakoa was half what they required. Good value early on. Didn't seal the deal for Vulcan Red in the end. But lessons to be learned for Vulcan Red. They're still in playoffs for next week. They're going to have time to reset and train just the same as Ground Zero and figure out what the new game plan is going to be.
Yeah, totally agree. This next week coming up, they have, the entire week to practice. Friday is when the playoff starts kicking off, of course, and is going to be so exciting. These two teams in this series look real strong still, and I'm excited to see how they grow and develop their strategies in this coming week. It's very exciting, though. I must say, we've talked about, the Angela coming out, because this is the only team, Vulcan Red is the only team that has been running Angela, and we can start to see some of the weaknesses of Angela, but we also see some of the strong points of Angela. So I'm curious to see how they start bringing in Angela into the fights next week, where playoffs start and things get even more, stakes get even higher.
Yeah, honestly. Or even benching Angela entirely might not be the pick for them to bring out. We'll see how they play into it. But very soon, gonna have a yap and see inside the mind of Kanga Esports. When we get their interview rolling, we're gonna find out what was their game plan going into this. What did they finally change to be able to get that domination win? I will say that considering the fact that they couldn't get that earlier, it's nice to see what they got now.
Well, we have an interview on our hands. Let's welcome one of the winning players from Kanga Esports. Let's welcome Solomon.
Let's.
Hello.
Hi, Solomon. Hello, congratulations on winning. Congratulations on being undefeated in terms of series of Group A. And also congratulations on winning your first domination map.
Yeah. We studied a lot in domination. So I think we won today.
Yeah, congrats. You did absolutely amazing. And I was having a look at, Kanga Esports. Both yourself, Rocco, you guys are both playing all the way from Korea at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
How is
You're
it playing with
in
an
the
Australian team?
South Korea.
I
like Australia teams. I like Australia team because my teammates are really being kind to us. So we are really happy.
That's awesome to hear. Now, Solomon, I am curious. Angela was a bit tough for your team to handle at the start of the series. How did you adjust to facing the Angela?
Yeah, it was a little bit hard at the first, so I talked to my teammate to change Perk and Neymar. We have Luna, Neymar, and we have Paranoid, so I think we can go with Neymar.
That's awesome to see. I definitely call that the bringing out the Gamma team up definitely helped handle the Angela, but the anti-dive and just bulking in a bit more. What would you say brought out the Wolverine? Because Wolverine was a play we haven't seen too much of lately in the past 4 days for group stage. Why did the team bring out the Wolverine?
Because Wolverine is really strong right now because the tanker got kidnapped, so I think it's really good Wolverine.
Yeah, the gameplay coming out from Wolverine, you guys played as Kanga Esports, worked phenomenally for your team to be able to take out the tanks, as you mentioned. Next week is playoffs, Solomon, and you will be versing Ground Zero first up. How do you feel about versing Ground Zero? Is there anything you've noticed so far watching this group stage that you feel you need to be aware of that Ground Zero will be potentially playing? And any weaknesses or strong points that you are excited to see in your matchup?
Yeah, I think we can win easily. So, but we have to study domination more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think your domination map was wonderful today. I think you guys have done some fantastic studying, and I'm excited to see what happens next week. Congratulations on being first seed of Group A, and thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
Absolute amazing words coming out from Solomon there. Great to get an insight from him. And of course, one of our imports here in our OCE region, there are 2 imports on Kanga Esports, and they're both playing from South Korea. So they're playing on a little bit of ping here, Liger, even though I never would have noticed from their gameplay.
No, absolutely. Honestly, I think in this game, ping at a certain point could be a benefit. If you know what you're doing, if you know the heroes you're playing, and all the above, you can utilize what people might consider a disadvantage to your advantage. Hey, how else are you going to flip the script and change the sacred timeline? Come on now.
That is so true. Yeah, so excited to have Solomon in our region playing as well for Kanga Esports. But we do have one more series on our hands, Liger, and it's going to be a banger. You and I have both been personally excited for this one. It's going to be between Brainstorm Esports and Exodia. But of course, before we get into that match, we do have to go to a break and prepare the game for you guys. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Oh yeah, 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게. 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야. 운명의 소리 들려. 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와. 시작해야 let's go. 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야. 좀 더 기다려. 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 어둠이 떠 날 단지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충이 쳐봐 한도 믿어 내일까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내가 좋아지려면 꿈꿨던 너와 나 별의 나라 승리 완명해 The fate of the both the world is in our hands 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충이 쳐봐 한도 믿어 내일까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 한도 믿어 내일까지 세계 운명 한껏 더 높이 날아올라 내 누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸
Smoke screen! I'm hunkering down. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
I want your soul. Hell unleashed!
We are undefeatable!
This is the final series of the group stage. Marble Rivals Ignite Oceania, right here, right now, between between Exodia and Brainstorm Esports. Sorry, I was reading chat and I got things mixed up, of course. But yeah, Brainstorm Esports and Exodia is going to be an absolutely banger here, Liger. But how these two teams are not unfortunately making it to the playoffs, they still have a lot on the line. Number one, of course, being cash, being the prize pool, being, of course, that money. But the second thing on the line is pride.
Yes, that OCE pride. To know that, listen, you may not be able to make it to playoffs, you may not be able to make it to the grand finals, but you might be able to make a little extra moolah, and you might be able to make the most important thing of all, put on a damn show. Okay, make memories with your team right now, make it happen. The game's loading up, they're getting into picks and bans now. What I'm expecting from these two teams again had really last ditch efforts to make it into the group stage, into the top 8 of OCE. They're here no matter what. It's still a massively commendable effort going against the hundreds of other teams in the region, all the way leading in, whether it's MRC, whether it's MRI. They're still here, they are top 8, but one of these teams is fighting for that 6th position to get the bigger prize pool. So what's it gonna be? What are they gonna do? Look, I'm expecting some really fun picks. I'm expecting some obscure, out of meta switch ups. I really want to see some things like Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Angela might be there. I'm definitely gonna suspect Hulk, because we just saw Kanga put on a masterclass with the Gamma team up. Wouldn't be surprised if it's there. Picks for Panther even, maybe. Or Ricey, you know what? They might change things up strategically. Maybe we won't even see the same strategist. We might see Loki out there again.
You know who we won't be seeing though, Liger? We won't be seeing Ultron.
Yes, of course.
Of course. The protect coming out from Exodia will be Emma Frost, and Brainstorm Esports is going to respond with a ban, of course. And this ban may either be Magneto, or it might be once again another strategist. It's going to be Adam Warlock. No surprises once again, but we might be able to see something different here. It could be an Emma Frost Protect coming off our Brainstorm Esports, or Magneto, or it could even be a Mantis Protect, because Exodia has not banned a Mantis yet. So we could have Mantis slip through the cracks here in favor of Brainstorm Esports.
Listen, I'll tell you what. This is exactly what you want right here. Double Emma Protect makes absolutely every sense in the world, but is Magneto also going to survive the ban phase? Or Are we going to see the lineup where we see Mag and Emma together once again? We haven't seen it yet so far in group stage. No team has had Mag and Emma available to them so far, but Torch Ban is wise. It's going to be definitely a good pick to nullify some of Brainstorm's powerhouse picks right there. But the double ban round is here, 6th wave. What is the double ban going to be? Is it going to be a mirror?
Magneto! Could be a double Magneto. Could also be, once again, Mantis. We still haven't seen the Mantis get banned just yet. It's going to be Lunar Snow. Now, we do see, of course, a priority on Lunar Snow quite a fair bit, but the priority is usually more on Mantis and Lunar Snow, but things may be shifting. The meta may be shifting over this weekend, of course, and maybe people are fearing more of the Lunar Snow and maybe the Snowflake and also the claps that come out from this phenomenal strategist. And Brainstorm Esports wants to protect the Jeff. We've seen Brainstorm play Jeff previously, so I can see that Protect doing quite a lot of work for themselves. And now Exodia, one more final ban for themselves. Who do they dislike playing against the most, especially in the hands of Brainstorm Esports?
I mean, Magneto's still up. Oh, no fire today. They have brought out the extinguishers. Call the fire trucks. It's over. Brainstorm will not have access to the Torch or the Phoenix for now. Final Protect coming out from Exodia. They've got the Emma. Who are they protecting? Who will be the final protect they need to lock in their team composition? Could be the Mantis. Could be an option.
Magneto. Magneto will be protected. I'm pretty excited to see this. We might be able to get both Emma Frost and Magneto in the same lineup. Have the, of course, the team up as well. We haven't really been seeing much of this team up because it's quite often that one of these Vanguards will be banned, but in this case, Exodia have both available to themselves. So Brainstorm Esports take a number out of Exodia's book and will also be banning Phoenix for the last ban.
Or villain, I'm not judging.
All right, now, Mantis has not been banned and is available. But what I'm suspecting now is we're going to definitely see something a bit more reminiscent of that 3.5 meta, which means we might see the Starlords, we might see the Psylocks. You know who we haven't seen a lot of? Hela. Hela's a good pick. Joji's Hela is formidable. I'd like to see it. OP on the Dark Master makes sense. Frost bringing out Emma makes even more sense. Now, I'll tell you something else, Ricey. I would like to see the Widow. The Widow from Wuvo, I should say. Got my words twisted there because it was so formidable last time we saw it. But it would be cool to see some Black Widow once again. But that's an option all the time. What we are going to see, of course, is Cassie is going to bring out the Rocket, as we know, for those who don't know, catching up in the chat. Rocket Raccoon, drop some armor packs, drop your jetpack, give your team something to enable them nice and early, and then probably switch off before that last second to like a Jeff or something to compensate. And give yourself some speed to get your team to the point of contention. But it's Husk. So let's do Husk, a very, very popular domination map we've seen quite a lot of in this group stage. Question is, who's going to capture here when we're entering the Husk? But most importantly, Cassia is going to go for the C&D. I like what I'm seeing from the duelist line from Exodia, starting strong, but Beast Node's going to portal him in.
Usually I create my
Now
own
this is
shield.
exciting. I'm curious whether they're not trying to kidnap actually instead. If they kidnap someone and use the mines that of course this Penny has, it could be very exciting to be able to bring somebody in or put mines out in the floor over there. Lots of damage being dealt. Nobody has fallen. Beast Node will get a bit of a hook, and now a kidnap all the way, far away from the team, far away from any kills, any sustain of coming out from Exodia. So from Brainstorm Esports, as Beast Node does get taken out. First pick going the way of Exodia, and they're going in for more, of course. And they want this capture point. They have the player advantage, and they're going for more. Frost gets taken down. No Vanguard's available for Brainstorm Esports. Beast Node, by the way, switching to Vanguard to try and get back faster, but I'm not sure if it's going to be fast enough. As even for the Brainstorm though are turning the tables. Maybe it is fast enough as Runk with Jeff in their hands has dealt so much damage and sustained for the team of Brainstorm Esports.
Big Runk on the big Jeff, putting in the absolute splashing work right there, getting so much value for Brainstorm Esports, holding it down. You gotta watch out, everybody, when you got Runk on the Jeff. They also got Beast Node with the Venom, which means they do have the Symbiote Shenanigans team up online if they require. On top of that, Wuvo's close to the big Karmic Revival when they need. And it could be valuable 60 as well on the Starlord. Could get quite a bit of value from Galactic Legend. Habaloko's got boundary, it could be popped up anytime. There it is. Joji flies just high enough to crack an impact to Jeff. Will he get it? Jeff's getting away. Runk's on the run. Who's gonna get him? They're moving. Woober brings Frost back into the fight. Joji takes out Habaloko. Woober taking out Habaloko. It looks like there's no way for Jeff to take him without the map shot. There is a meteor charging. There is a meteor flying directly for Habaloko. There's 60 still in this guy shredding people. Taking out Joji in the back. Super takes it Woober. It's just one after another. Everybody's taking out one after another on each side of the field. There it is there. Woober gets the res, bringing themselves back to the cocoon. Subi takes out Frost. Woober forces Subi. They're holding it down. That's 50%. The runes of Loki are there to keep him sustained. The big crunch from the Venom, the Feast, does not get the value of the Abyss, but it is going to allow Exodia to push Brainstorm back, and they do have a chance to gain point contention here, but Brainstorm didn't make it easy.
No, they didn't make it easy because Brainstorm's already at 60%. Well and truly past halfway. Exodia have only just capped. So they're only just making it to 10% here. They have a big journey to be able to try and overtake Brainstorm, let alone win, of course, in this first round. But they did such a phenomenal job in getting this point back. They were able to cycle through their ultimates fairly successfully. And they still have Zytrix available, which is a last stand in the hands of Wolverine. But Brainstorm have 3 ultimates, including Runk on the Jeff. It's Jeff who saw that one go in last time, but it's going to be Frost starting off with the Psionic Seduction and trying to capture the hearts of Exodia. And it's going to be quite a massive ult coming up from Runk potentially, but it's going to be shot down immediately by OP. And also, wait, it looks like Joji was trying to do second impact and taken out immediately as well. Out comes kind of bottom Kaja, out comes also the invisible boundary from Hyperlocal, all the sustain from both sides of both teams. Try to keep the team alive, but Exodia are finally past halfway. They're finally close to taking over Brainstorm's percentage as OP takes down Beast Note, and Bubble also uses, I believe, Eternal Bond to sustain the team of Exodia for longer. They have won this fight and they have stayed in control. They are on the way to overtaking Brainstorm.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pacing nicely for Exodia right now, but eyes on Brainstorm. They do have the ultimate's favor right now. They could go explosive when you least expect it. Frost will have Sonic for the next fight, but Exodia's climbed to the 80% mark. One more win, and they'll probably capture this round. So it's going to be on Brainstorm to try and activate now and get in contestation. Speaking of contestation, they're seeing value coming out from the sidelines right there. Super taking a bit of damage, but they're still going to push on in through the symbiotic terrain right there. They're going to be using it to their favor. They're going to be picking and hammer arming down Zyker, taking out the Wolverine, but the Sonic's pouring in from Super right now, and it scoops another, taking out Frost the Hammer. That's going to be 2 down for them, but just when you think it's over, Uber is going to hit the Kanga revival and be born again as they're going to bring back the rest of their team as they fall one after another. They're going to be brought back again one after another as Runk's taking out Joji. That's going to be the Bucky taken down. Overtime's ticking off 99% in favor of Exodia, but the boundary drops from Hyperlocal, and there it is. OP with the Bullock shield does save.
Oh, wait.
Cyclic's last standard. OP takes out Hyperlocal. Overtime's ticking off there, and the runes are set up to nullify the Sonic coming out from Frost.
Yes, Ionic is from Frost, but so is, of course, it's Jeff and Beast of Venom. Beast of Abyss is out as well. Runk is able to kick off Kaja across off the edge, and Exodia are falling one by one. Jonas from Brainstorm doing their work. Absolutely everything was used from Brainstorm to take control back. But Exodia, they held on. They held on to 2 of their ultimates. And Exupi also has theirs on their way. So this next fight coming out, Brainstorm has to try and survive against the assault from Exodia.
Well, they definitely have to as well. You know, you got to figure out how can you tackle this high ground right now. It's a bit bunkered in, a bit dangerous, you know. You're going to get the Cloak and Dagger. That's right, Eternal Bond coming out from the Loki copy. Bubblecar making it happen, bringing out the Bond of their own. But I believe Joji did have a sense, and it was a correct sense. They did spot Sixty on the sidelines there. Joji goes for the Kraken impact, gets a double KO to start off the resets. Is it going to be enough value to land another? They're going to try and pop it on the Star-Lord. Uppercut! He's clean by Joji right there, taking out one, but doesn't matter as Woober's going to bring them back with the Comet Revival. The 3 that were taken down by Brainstorm are 3 that are back again because of Brainstorm. Woober, the Adam Warlock, pressuring in 99% on the side of Exodia, who did recapture contention, but Slixie's a legend in the skies and starts going crazy, shredding them through. OP takes out the Runk, the Jeff, and that pushes them off. That does give Exodia the first round here on Celestial Husk, claiming the hand.
Yes, the hand goes the way of Exodia. and now the Codex is the next objective. Brainstorm Esports did phenomenal work, bringing themselves so close to 99%. I believe they were sitting at 92 or something. So they were very close to bringing this to a 99% all both sides. Looking at this next fight though here, Liga, there are a couple of ultimates available. I believe both strategist ultimates too, as Brainstorm was running a triple strategist backline. They now are switching things up to go for a standard 2-2-2. And yeah, 2 ultimates for their side with both those strategist ultimates available. But Exodia, they will also have 2 ultimates. One in the hands of Kaja on Cloak and Dagger, and Zykrek on the Wolverine, 96%.
That is exactly what you want to see right there. Utilizing your switches, gaining value when you know you can alternate. Now that you've gained the information from how the other team played, wind it up. OP's going to be the one to bring the pentagram of Farala to get their team onto the low ground and playing early pressure onto the point. Brainstorm don't know that yet, but they're about to find out. Yeah, restructuring the map to their advantage. The map knowledge of Exodia is impeccable right here. They know how they want to play this defense. Even though Brainstorm's on the high ground, it's a very vulnerable place to be, as a lot of that high ground is just tunneling through to one spot, and all Exodia need to do is pour their damage in. But they gotta be careful because they can come from around and behind.
Joji did try and manage to kidnap Frost down onto the low ground, but Hypothetical was the one that first falls to Exodia. And so Exodia, with that player advantage, is going harder and harder onto Brainstorm. Beastone has fallen, but Rubo is going to get revenge onto Joji. Missionary does go the way of Exodia. They have to capture the point. They're claiming some very important percentage. Ooh, Zykrek just barely survived, passive getting popped, able to get away, as now Rank and Frost are using both their ultimates to try and retake the point as quickly as I can, but Exodia have a strong, firm hand.
Oh, it absolutely right there. This confidence exuded from that team right there. They're putting in the work. Just going 1 for 1 each side. That's going to take another. That's going to be the last stand for Zykrek. The rage is there, but it doesn't get the impact they need. But it doesn't matter because Joji's going to be there with a point-blank impactor right there, taking him out with the Conjure Pentakill from Joji. Just absolutely flush with the Bucky gameplay, and a bit of nodding to those watching right there from Joji, just knowing that they had a good impact there. But on the other side of that, they now have to face the Dance of the Butterfly from Slixie, and they don't have the strategic defensive line to handle it.
That is a very good point, Liga. Kaja is the closest, sitting at 61%, but they might not have anything to answer the Dance of the Butterfly. They do still have 2 Vanguard ultimates, both the Psionic Seduction, which is now available, and OP does have the Ivag Noto available in 9%, but Ruvo has got us a cow to answer as well. 2 Duelist ultimates, that's 2 Vanguard ultimates. It's up to Brainstorm Esports though to take back the point, considering Exodia have just passed 70%. Dance of the Butterfly is activated. It does take down Joji, but Frost is going to get returned as a trade. Now it's going to be a ton of blocks from Kaja. They were able to get it up quite quickly for the side of Exodia, but Zykrek on the Wolverine kidnaps Rubo and takes him into a 1v1 situation up on the high ground, bringing things still in favor of Exodia. 90% Liga. I don't know if Brainstorm can touch with this portal that Beastone is about to activate.
Beastone will have time to get the portal off, but will they have time to keep in contention? 99% overtime is kicking off into high gear right there. Brainstorm have one chance to try and hold it down and try and get capture for themselves. They do take out 2 from Exodia. That's going to be super on the back foot right there, but they're going to walk into the ruins of Bubblecup. It's going to give them nice and sustained and heal them on up. Copy is available. They could go crazy with it, but Bubblecup's going to be taken down. Cassia resets off the map. Super taken down. Exodia is going to let Brainstorm take it nice and quick, not utilize any more of their resources, and nor will they give any more ult charge to Brainstorm. They know they have advantage. All they have to do is in one singular fight, and Agamotto is online.
Yeah, Agamotto as well as God of Mischief available for Exodia, but Brainstorm Esports, they don't really need to use any ultimates in that fight. They just use Rubo's Goddess of Hell from the Skies, but they have 5. Speaking of ultimates, though, Frost does start off with a Psionic Seduction. Keep Exodia away from the point, but Zykrek doesn't care. Kidnaps the beast, takes him out. God of Mischief also being used by Bubblecup, going in for more. With only one of Vanguard, Brainstorm Esports has used Invisible Battle to keep this in the life, but Hypothetical still gets taken out. Joji gets another one. Also has Kraken Impact Battle, uses it immediately, goes in for more, has one, goes again. One more, but they are many Brainstorm Esports left to go crazy. Rubo now switching over to Spider-Man to try and touch in time. Again, we hear from Joji. Ivagomoto trying to use on base node, but not able to touch in time. And Exodia win the first map here on Domination.
Oh, they do indeed. They take the hand, they take the codex. We don't even need to see the vault, leave the vault sealed as they do take Celestial Husk in entirety right there. Strong start right there. Of course, victory for the squad. Represent. Bubblecar get the MVP right there on the low-key. Again, I had a feeling low-key was going to show up in the matchup between these two teams, but Exodia did believe in the heart of themselves and their teammates, and they played their cards right. And of course, claimed victory here. Brainstorm with a rough start, but lessons to be learned. Let's see how they perform when they get map decision now. Curious if they'll go for the convoy or convergence. I have a feeling we might see Industrial Path. Could be a wise decision for them. Might work for the compositions they want to run, but there's always another option. Could see Midtown even as an option. A map we haven't seen in quite a while, but nonetheless a good map to witness as well. But also want to bring in tension. The diversity of the hero pools from Exodia, Brycey, was pretty good. Cassia bringing out the C&D was such high value.
No, I agree. I think the diversity coming out from Exodia really did help with dealing with Brainstorm and keeping them under control, I guess one might say. Looking at the stats, we can definitely see Exodia is exuding quite a lot of damage and final hits coming out from Joji, from the Baki players. 17, and of course that Penta KO. We can see Joji starting us off with these replays, taking out Ibolical. Absolutely amazing work on that Bucky, on with that Winter Soldier. Now Soupy as well as the Vanguard did fantastic work, and of course Opie as well on Magneto, looking absolutely phenomenal. But of course Joji once again with these Kraken impacts, going one after the other, the damage coming out from both Joji and Zykrek, of course, being able to isolate these 1v1s, and Joji once more with another amazing impact on that ultimate.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to this next map between these two teams more than ever right now. It's a good start for Exodia. Very exciting 2-0 in domination. But question is, we're going to witness another 2-0. Is Exodia going to also take this series in the same fashion that Chopper Mag and Kanga Esports did earlier today? It'd be a short day, but at the end of the time, well, come on, give us a show. I want to see something. Brainstorm, it's potentially your final map. Potentially, right? Here in Marvel Rivals Ignite and Stage 2. We might see you again in the future, but this is your final round if you don't beat Exodia. But if you beat Exodia, we tie it up. We get to decide this on map 3, and that would be exciting. But everybody's making their predictions. Everybody's got their guesses. At the end of the day, it's in your hands to the players, of course, on the field.
Yeah, that is correct, you guys. They're in chat, and you guys can, of course, put your channel predictions in and choose who you think will win this next one. Will Brainstorm Esports be able to bring us back to a 1-0, or will Exodia take this to a 2-0 victory for themselves and give us a very short day? We'll find out, though, after this short break. We'll see you guys soon as we prepare for the next game.
누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 처음에 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계우면 어둠이 떠 날 어디까지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품이 좁아 한도 믿어 내일까지 아름다운 꿈을 밟고봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내게 주어지는 꿈꿨던 너와 나 그래 그래 승리 완명해 The fate of it all.
We are here with the final day of group stage. Marvel Rivals Ignite Oceania. We just had a massive first game here between Brainstorm Esports and Exodia, where Exodia does take that first round, and they could potentially give us another 2-0 for the end of the day. But if Brainstorm Esports, who have chosen the next map, take this next victory, they'll bring us to a 1-0, and we could get a spicy best of 3 on our hands.
We already have a spicy map for us as well to match that pace. We are going to Midtown. It's going to be a fun one. Subway is good. The ambulance is primed. Everyone's ready to go down Main Street, deliver it straight to, of course, Avengers Tower. It's going to be a good time. We're going to start it off at the Baxter building. But before we do that, we're going to find out about picks and bans. We're going to see how Brainstorm Esports going to play this picks and bans phase differently to try and get themselves an advantage here. I do think it's time to make sure nobody gets that Emma and Magneto situation again. That's too strong, too overwhelming. It's gotta be banned out. But Exodia will be the first ones attacking here, pushing alongside your favorite, Ricey, Herbie, in the Fantastica. Herbie's back.
Yay, Herbie! Yes, we are going to Midtown, and I'm super excited to see this Herbie Midtown convoy map, of course. And, well, it's going to be Brainstorm Esports on defense starting off and Exodia on attack. So things are going to be super exciting as we begin our ban and protect phase.
Alrighty, Emma banned first off. Wise decision by Exodia right there. Sorry, wise decision by Brainstorm to tackle out Exodia's Emma, which was a good pick. Ultron's still going to be banned out by Brainstorm. Curious to see if Ultron actually gets protected here. In return, it could be a high value pick for Exodia if they lock in Ultron for themselves, if they want it. But instead, they're going to lock in the Dunkmaster Magneto. So that is wise for them as well.
Yeah, they don't want to have the two best Vanguards be banned out completely for themselves, knowing that they have Emma Frost being banned out. So they will have to protect the Magneto. And Brainstorm Esports do finally hit that Ultron ban, so no Ultron for Exodia, and they also protect Emma Frost for themselves. So they are denying Emma Frost for Exodia and securing Emma Frost for themselves. So Exodia here, they could potentially go for a Magneto ban, but no, they're instead choosing Human Torch. They don't want to verse the human shining bright in the skies once more. And now onto the next phase here, like these two teams could choose to ban the same thing or something different. Let's see what they end up choosing.
They're gonna ban Mr. Fantastic. Put it down. Yeah. That's my word right here. It's gonna be Mr. Okay, it's Luna. Another Luna double ban makes sense. But next protect coming in. They've already protected Emma for themselves. Will they be able to? Okay, yep. Emma and Magneto is online for Brainstorm Esports. However, Exodia only have the Magneto.
Ooh, yeah, they have that Magneto protect for each other. So no yes, Magneto for both teams, but the Phoenix ban coming through does mean that Brainstorm Esports aren't able to play both Phoenix and Human Torch. And Exodia were protecting Phoenix for themselves. So they definitely want that fiery power for themselves. Brainstorm Esports have one final ban. And they will definitely be thinking about this quite deeply. Who do they want to ban? Who do they want to make sure that they do not verse in this map of Midtown? And it is going to be Doctor Strange.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
I have never seen hope more destroyed than banning out of Doctor Strange. It's one of those bans that just stings. If you know that a team is going to ban Doctor Strange, that's a big pick. But I like what I'm seeing so far. Storm's very good. We're talking narrow corridors here on Midtown. Things can get boxed in, but there are some good ceilings to play around. But another good pick of Squirrel Girl probably won't happen. Phoenix is a good option too. I'll probably suspect Joji's going to bring out the Bucky once again, but I like Beast Node hovering group because again, this map, when you have that nice narrow road to walk around and you've got the Herbie vehicle moving on through the Fantastica, setting up those Thorn Slash walls is way more beneficial than anything, as well as the Ironwood walls that you can actually hide in between the indestructible terrain. What does that do? It gives Groot the stats that he needs, gives Groot an absolute boost, and it doesn't allow you to actually try to counter that. So on top of that, we're going to see what that ultimately is going to be. I like the idea of seeing potentially the Thing. The Thing could be something to help the team, covering time, you know, stun them up, knock them up, and hopefully take them down. We'll see what happens as we roll on in. Curious to see the ultimate plan, but I think it is also Cloak and Dagger territory. Eternal Bond is very, very useful on this map as well because the way the street is structured. Keen to see how they roll on out of the spawn doors.
Well, they're rolling out with the spawn doors with Moon Knight, Zyker play Moon Knight here, and of course gonna have that team up with the Cloak and Dagger available too. But as you mentioned, this is a pretty decent map for both Groot and also for Moon Knight, being able to spray down lots of damage in these choke points. But Joji here on the Phoenix can do the exact same thing, being able to shoot fish in a barrel, one may say. But Moon Knight already has the Hand of Conjure available. Does get taken out by the Emerald Frost, but I mean, the spawn doors are literally right there. They'll come back, and with the Hand of Conjure available, Brainstorm Esports definitely have to be very careful. They only have Rubo's ultimate, CYA ultimate available for this fight.
Alright, pushing in forward. So they get contestion back again. Hand of Conjure drops in. Combined with a bit of Suzy action right there. Does take down the Beast Node. But Hoover's got that BRB beacon, bringing Slixy back in the fight. Big Jeff going for a splash, taken out first. And then the group from Soupy is going in. It's combining with the Ensign Inferno. That's Soupy getting double KO on the absolute group right there. Absolute tree trunk in action. And Zyker is hitting that crescent darts, getting a double KO from the moon. Absolutely sitting on that Fantastica, farming as you should, but Brainstorm is portaling back on in from the high ground.
Yeah, portal coming up from Beast Node, Frost already taking out OP. He was about to try, I believe, use the Hurricane, but gets taken out immediately. No Hurricane for Exodia, but there is still going to be a Jeff also from Bubble. Not sure how many they captured, but Frost doesn't care. They're taking down Big. They've taken down Bubble. So no massive Jeff NATO to the side of Exodia in this fight just yet, as Brainstorm Esports have brought themselves back into the defensive position, and they're holding firm here at this first initial choke point.
Listen, they've switched off the Moon Knight now to go for the Wolverine. Wolverine definitely going to help a lot with the group, but there is no group for now. As of course, they've also switched as well. Triple Vanguard lineup coming out from Brainstorm. Going for the big Sonic seduction right there from Slixy. Oh, blocked away by the Iron Wall from Soupy. Well timed and a good retreat from Exodia. But eyes on the ultimate set online right now. We're going to see something big. I believe an Amplify from Wither could be the deciding factor here to give a bit of sauce to Brainstorm. And there it goes. Into the Tomahawk Agamotto. And it sets them up nicely, diving on down into Exodia. And they get one, they get Bubble, they get Zyker, Joji, Kasi, and 2 Spear. That's a team wipe and a triple KO for Runk on the C&D.
Yeah, Runk with that Eternal Bond on the ground, being able to sustain the team, but I must say Beast Node with the Eye of Agamotto flying over into the enemy, was able to get quite a few members, I believe 2 at least, of Exodia get stun locked, which enables Brainstorm to push in and deal so much damage, taking out Exodia one by one. And now with 60 seconds left, it's going to be Exodia to try and push through. They do use another bomb, but Kanga does manage to hide away from Frost. Melio just barely has the brings by Beast Node though, who was looking out a bit earlier. And now more ultimates come through as Bubble and Hydraulic start using their boundaries to keep the team alive, but Soupy and Joji start turning the tide towards the way of Exodia. Will Slixy's Hydraulic seduction be enough? No, it will not be. And Soupy takes them down. Hydraulic will get the desperate last pick onto Zyker. But Exodia have started winning this fight, and they will start moving Herbie closer and closer to the first checkpoint.
Absolutely right now. Driving that Fantastica further and further around Ambulance Corner, but it's going to be tough for them. They're going to need to win one solid fight here against Brainstorm if they want to get an extra bit of time into their time bank. But what time is it? Could be time for a cracking impact from Joji. Last stand on line from Zyker. OP's got that Meteor. trying to set the bubbles down onto Wubo with the Punisher turret set up nicely. False slash walls are being set up right now. They're trying to box him on in. Beast Snow taking a bit of damage. But the Berserker goes in. It's a triple KO from the Kraken Impact from Joji into the big uppercut, taking out the 4. And it's a penta KO from Joji, who gets it clean on Beast Snow. There's no one else left to take. It's just going to be a penta KO, but it's exactly what they needed to get time added on.
Yeah, Joji lines up a triple KO with that first impact from Kraken Impact, starting off a fight from Exodia extremely strongly. And Brainstorm Esports, they just could not respond in time. Losing 3 members instantly like that did mean that they were not able to hold the defense. But of course, Exodia were only able to capture that in overtime. So they only had 2 minutes left to be able to push through this phase, the subway phase of course, this map. And so Revo's going to start this off strong with Final Judgment, trying to rain down a lot of damage and find people. But Exodia have managed to regroup into safety. Joji getting dangerous below, will be able to maybe survive, but not for long as Tarsier double and Kubi, they all fall. And Exodia has stopped the push for now, with 1.5 minutes left on the clock.
Moving in, 1:30 left on the mine, 90 seconds for the team to try and make it happen right there. But Brainstorm set up on the high ground. Turrets are ready, Meteor's online. Got the boundary, got the bond, and they make it happen. Storm's there. They try to make a hurricane. We'll be able to slow out Exodia more when they get that online as well. But destroying the terrain does drop Frost to the low ground. Forces Exodia to get them to the low ground and start a fight where they least expect it. But Joji gets the pick right there, taking out Stixie into an uppercut, taking out Wubo. They're just Joji. Bucky is just absolutely elementary with it right now. Just getting pick after pick right there, getting massive value, keeping momentum in favor of Exodia there. But it's going to be a nice pick from Garcia on the CND. OP taking a hyperbolical. Beast Mode falls as well. That's going to be 4 down for Exodia, which does mean that Exodia do push forward if Brainstorm's got 4 down. There's time for 1 more contest from Brainstorm. Otherwise, history will repeat and Exodia get more time added to their bank.
Yeah, potentially Exodia could get this in overtime, but out comes the Mega Hurricane from Slixie. They will be able to get that touch off, of course, but the Bubble is going to be using that invisible boundary to answer this Hurricane. Rum's also going to be using a counter bond, and Media is used, but Obi's not able to find that cloak and dagger as Joji does take down Rubo, but his second impact gets countered by Rum, who is dealing so much damage as the cloak and dagger side is going the way of Brainstorm Esports. They are able to take down all the members of Exodia, but with only 3 seconds left, I'm not sure they're going to touch. They do manage to touch, but can anyone pull in? Down goes overtime. It's going to be difficult, but they are so far away, Liger.
There's no portal because the Strange has been banned.
Oh yeah, true. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep. I mean, I thought about that actually as well. I was like, portal could be a factor, but if they haven't switched to it yet, that's right, it's been banned. So Exodia don't have access to Doctor Strange here, as we can see. They don't have access to the Ultron or Emma or Luna as well. Very limiting their chances at those last-ditch final pushes. But nonetheless, I think it was a big Kraken impact that got cancelled out by Frost's massive Sonic Seduction there, which killed Exodia's momentum, denied them the chance to keep on pushing. But on top of that, you know, stopping the momentum was a big factor to consider. That does give Brainstorm a bit of sauce right now, feeling confident that maybe they can push it just shy of that second gate. And if they can keep themselves in this series, and we're going to go to round 3. But Exodia have a plan, and they have everything they need to try and fully hold this from the start. And what's that going to be? I think it's time to bring out a bit of a singing, a bit of a dancing, a bit of burning. Potentially Insomnia Inferno, potentially the Supernova. I think Joji and Zykic are going to bring the fire. The question is, are Brainstorm going to keep it calm, cool, and collected to be able to shut that down?
Yeah, Brainstorm Esports are the ones that has to win this game to keep this series going. Exodia only 1 win away from taking this entire series and cementing themselves in that 5th, 6th position, that 3rd place of Group B. That bragging right that I'm sure both these teams desperately want. They want to be able to win 1 series in this group stage and go out with a bang. Brainstorm Esports starting this off defense with Revo on the Punisher. I'm excited to see the damage coming through from Revo. Maybe they can use this Punisher to be able to shut down even Torch and Phoenix.
It is right there. They're pushing on forward. Exodia good. Trying to get some point contention and stop the movement of the Fantastica. Big Zycric taking out the Frost. The Hammer's down. Pushing forward, throwing Phoenix marks, setting the stage. Trying to get the marks to push Brainstorm back into their spawn. Iron Slash chances are going to be there. Sorry, Thorn Slash was going to be there for them to try and take a chance from Soupy. Trying to box him in, I will say though. Big resets coming in. Phoenix is just absolutely cooking right now. Big Snow bleeding right now, taking quite a lot of damage, but sustained by a run nonetheless. And Zycric's diving in forward and goes directly into Beast Snow's face, but at the same time, Foss returns the favor, taking out Soupy. That's one Vanguard down for each side. And it's going to be pushing recontestation for Brainstorm, who got the Fantastica moving once again.
Yep, Fantastico is moving. Herbie is heading towards his destination. But of course, Exodia do have 3 ultimates potentially forward. Meteor close behind. Available for themselves to keep this defense hold going. Frost is trying to attack, though, and keep this Brainstorm, keep moving the card, of course, as Vivo is going to be using the final judgment. Meteor is going to get used, going to land onto Runk, and perfectly the no eternal bond for the side of Brainstorm, and now Exodia are just collapsing on top of Brainstorm.
Absolutely right now, stopping the Fantastica's movement. Hit it in reverse right there. Herbie is not getting to their destination, but Wallach's got the invisible boundary online. Slixie's the Mega Hurricane is there as well. Ideally, they want to try and pick off Cassia here, shut down the Eternal Bond, which will allow Slixie's Hurricane to go absolutely berserk. But Slixie's berserk, you know, Super could go in with the Freedom Charge to nullify it just as well. But it is Hurricane in the back. It's going to be matched. It's going to be there. And the Bond is actually, no, Freedom Charge is actually going to keep him sustained and surviving. They're going to save the Bond for a future fight. And there it is, taking flight. Here's the torch, holding it down. Supernova online when they need, and they burst into flames right there. They're going to meet the pace. They're going to try to get her, but they're going to choke down by the Emma. We're taken down by the... There it is, the end song. The power of the Psionics is going forward. It pulls him in. Slixie claps him down, taking out Joji. That's going to give massive value to Brainstorm now as they get momentum back. But this Captain America, Soupy, is just on their backline, not letting them move.
Runk does take them down. No more Captain America. Harassing the backline as Brainstorm needs to come back in control and they're pushing forward. Amazing work from Frost to be able to shut down Joji, Supernova with that choke slam, and now they shut down Kanga. They're going in for more, but they don't need to, as they have been able to now to get this first checkpoint, and they get it with more time as well. 3.5 minutes for the subway section.
Set the stage right here. This could be the final 3 minutes of the entirety of the group stage here in Marvel Rivals Ignite. All that is required from Exodia to realize that and to claim that 6th spot, to claim that extra 1500, to claim that bragging right is to win it here and hold down Brainstorm's defense. Attack. But the pressure is there because that Mega Hurricane from Slixie is barreling on forward. There's a lot of pressure pushing forward because Bubbles jumping the invisible boundary. Cassius getting big, taking out Fox. And it seems as though when Brainstorm did have the pushing power, Exodia exploded their ultimates right back and stopped the pushing coming forward. That does mean another 30 seconds are munched from Brainstorm's time bank there to try and keep themselves in this series here. Cassia's got the Bond ready. The teams are regrouping for what could be another fight.
Yeah, a couple more fights available for Brainstorm Esports, 2.5 minutes, and they have so many ultimates here. 4 currently, potentially 5, as Final Judgment starts this off, it's going to be answered as well. So by actually no strategist ultimate, it's going to be Brainstorm Esports Invisible Boundary as Joji's answering with Supernova, crashing out and finally using Eternal Bond to keep the team of Exodia alive. They've lost only 1, as Mover has also been eliminated. Outcome's also the Melio, but it doesn't find anyone. Joji though takes down Frost and is wanting more. They want Slixie, but Slixie is able to just get away. And Exodia is still holding the defense, and now with 2 minutes left on the clock, Brainstorm have also used a couple more ultimates for themselves.
Ultimates are key right now. It's like it's got the Inferno, but it could be countered by Runk's Bond. So people have Freedom Charge would be a good stalling presence. Ideally, they want to lead that in to nullify, but Joji is barreling fire down range right now. And it's a fire slam, taking out Frost and burning the Queen right there. And the Freedom Charge is giving him the juice to keep on moving forward. Runk's on the flank with the C, and Big Ugo is on the punch up.
Okay.
He's going to be there when needed. Bubble card taken down. Headsong Inferno drops. match the pace. Garcia takes out Wubo. It's a flight in the fight, and the fight is in the skies right there as they're flying forward. Slixy's gonna drop the Hurricane. Keep Brainstorm in the fight right there. Exodia's trying to regroup, but Slixy's gonna chase him down with the Hurricane and does catch Garcia in the distance. Final chance to make it. Exodia don't have a strange, so they're gonna need Soupy to try and contest here. There's only 5 meters left. Someone's on it.
They're touching, and out comes also the invisible boundary from Bubble to keep the team alive, and out comes Supernova from Doji as well. The damage is met, though, of course, by Hyperbolic invisible boundary, but there is still so much damage. Also from Slixy, who takes down Soupy. Out comes a Meteor, trying to find something who lands in the air onto Joji. Now OP's turn. Once the ladder will land on Drunk, so no token dagger for Brainstorm, but OP does go. Weaver focus the turn. It's a trade back and forth. Trades are leading the way of Brainstorm Esports with only less than 5 meters left. They are so close to reaching the end, but the Eternal Bond from Kaja may be able to bide some time for Exodia. 15 seconds lager. Brainstorm Esports have no ultimates except for the Omega Hurricane for this final fight.
They're going to be able to have Hurricane for this fight. They might be able to bring up the invisible boundary 5 seconds out. We are definitely going into overtime. This is the last ditch effort for Brainstorm to keep themselves in this series. And it's going to start up with an assembling charge from Soupy right there, taking out Slixy, holding it forward, punching forward, trying to get the pain. OP's on the Venom right now. They're going for the full dive composition. Joji's on the starter. They're going to shred down Beastman. They're going to go straight for a frost grabs Joji. That's going to be tight. It's going to be insane. Overtime ticking off right there. OP takes out Wubo. They're going to try to make it happen. The Sonics are going up. Everybody's trying to pop up their ults. Frost one runs out for now. Bubbles got boundary if they need it. The portal from Slixy's there. It's going up. The invisible woman is taken down. Hyperbolic is pieced out of here. Soupy's there. There's going to be water pressure holding it down. Is it going to be enough? The boundary set up. Doesn't have enough time for Exodia. Do they make it?
Exodia make it. Joji is back and does a lot of damage, but OP is like they're all here still too. Exodia hold down the defense. They deny the portal play from Brainstorm Esports and make sure that they stay in control. Round 2 is complete, going the way of Exodia. We have another 2-0 on our hands here, Liger.
There it is, a well-fought close one. I will say this one was definitely very, very close. It was down to the absolute overtime wire there. Joji with the MVP. Exodia absolutely held it down on Midtown, and that is going to be victory for them in this series against Brainstorm Esports. An epic bout nonetheless from both these two teams. Well played to them. It is unfortunately the last time we see them in the Marvel Rivals Ignite Stage 2, but what a showing to end the group stage.
What an absolute show indeed. Both of these two teams had me on the edge of my seat for this game. For Midtown Convoy, I was personally not sure whether or not Exodia would be able to touch in time without that Doctor Strange, with that portal being banned. It was all up to, that Captain America to get there in time, the Star-Lord to rush in, and of course the Venom to swing in time, but they made it, and with the invisible boundary from Bubble Co as well to be able to keep that team alive long enough for them to regroup. It was absolutely fantastic. But like these replays, we got to see Moon Knight.
Yes, we did, and I think the replays should just keep focusing on Moon Knight, but fair enough, no more Moon Knight. That's okay, but hey, replays were big. There was the big 6k he wiped that Exodia had to face against Brainstorm. Joji's instant 3k with the Kraken impact following into the Penta was absolutely epic to see as well. Hey, we love a good multi-KO from any Bucky players out here. It's always a good time. I will say, though, OP and Beastnut were absolute dunk masters here today, putting in the work on the Master of Magnetism when it came down to it. They landed those shots, they charged up those meteors, and they absolutely blitzed through the strategic lineups of both teams. But nonetheless, that's going to be a 2-0 series in favor of Exodia against Brainstorm Esports. It was a well-fought series, probably the closest 2-0 of the night, definitely. But what does that mean for tomorrow? Sorry, what does that mean for next week, I should say, now that we do know who is officially locked into what seed spot next week?
Yeah, we do. We know exactly what is going to be happening in playoffs. Well, okay, not exactly what's happening, but we know exactly who is going to be versing who in the playoffs next week. And of course, we know the standings for group stage. We know who's going to be ending third and fourth in the both of these groups. Group B will have, of course, Brainstorm Esports fourth place and Exodia as third. So they get that bragging rights, they get that extra little bit of cash as well. I'm sure they're all proud of themselves. for walking away for this extra win for themselves. But oh my goodness, next week, Liger is gonna go down. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be so exciting.
Absolutely, it's about to go off. It's about to go down. You already know it's gonna be an absolute banger. Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. That's right, 3 days of the OCE MRI Stage 2 playoffs. But before that, we do still get what I like to call a farewell interview with one of the players from Exodia. Keen to see who we're going to have a yap with, see into their insight, maybe even ask for their predictions of what they think is going to go on in the playoffs. They've played against these teams. If anyone knows these 4 teams better, it's going to be the players from these 2 teams who faced off against them throughout the qualifiers, throughout MRC, throughout the group stage, and now we're going to find out playoffs who's going to actually take it home and lock themselves into that sole spot for Atlanta.
Yeah, that's so true. Playoffs is going to go really excitingly, and it's great to also get that insight into what these players think and feel about the games that we've just had, and of course the future games in playoffs. So make sure you guys stick around, because it's going to be great to hear their thoughts straight from these players. So we'll be able to talk to one of the players from Exodia, and there's so many questions that of course I would like to ask them about their journey so far and what their plans are for the future, of course, as well.
That's true. You know, there's a lot of things cooking. We know MRC Season 4 is going to start up very, very soon. Some more games are definitely in store. We know Marvel Rivals is cooking up lots of events. I can't wait to see how they all unfold. It's very exciting to see that this is the end of group stage in Stage 2 of Marvel Rivals Ignite in the OCE region. We've had an amazing time. It's all going to culminate into playoffs next week, and then after that into the grand finals on the international stage. Keen to see who's going to represent OCE, but those who did represent OCE so far here in our own region, in the home streams, in having a good time, was Exodia and Brainstorm Esports in their final bout today, deciding that they can prove, hey, even if we're not going to make it to playoffs, we're still going to come through, we're still going to play, we're still going to put on a banger for all of you watching at home. So good on them.
And yeah, today was an absolute banger. They definitely did. Sadly, didn't get a 2-1 at all today, but that final game that we just had between Exodia and Brainstorm Esports was so close. It went down to the absolute wire. I honestly thought Brainstorm Esports was going to win that. They were so close to winning that fight, like twice there. The portal play came out and they started taking out multiple members of Exodia, but somehow Exodia was able to just touch with teamwork and with their ultimates that they still had on hand, and they took that victory 2-0.
Absolutely, I would definitely give that props to Captain Soupy with the Freedom Charge that literally charged them into victory, gave survivability, add that in Cassia, insane internal bond that did give them the sustain to hold that last fight.
Well, we do have our interview ready, Liger, so without further delay, let's welcome one of our winning players from Exodia.
Woo-woo.
Yo.
Hi, Soupy. Congratulations
How's
on
it going?
winning. I'm sure you are good. We had a wonderful time casting your games. It was definitely an absolute banger. You guys put on an absolute show. And for your final game here in Marvel Rivals Ignite, I'm sure you guys are so proud of yourselves for winning. Congratulations for walking away with that victory.
Thank you. That was a nail biter.
Yeah, it definitely was. I do wonder how you felt your journey has been so far in Marvel Rivals Ignite Stage 2, and as a team and everything, but also like individually. And how do you feel about your future as well? What do you think is on the horizon for yourselves?
Yeah, you know, we didn't get a too good bracket. You know, we had some of the top teams in the region. But yeah, we've come a long way. You know, we had a few like trials and errors. We missed both the open qualifiers, and then we had the last chance against Omni Defiance, which was a really fun match. Oh my god. Leave. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it was we've come a long way since Omni Defiance, and we've improved a lot. You know, we've got some subs in, like Zachary kept Bubblecar, which definitely were helping to us winning this match. You know, they're just the best supports and the best TPS in the region, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, listen, I remember when contact came to me that there was an opportunity for an 8th slot in the group stage, and we facilitated that bonus open qualifier. The entire community was co-streaming that event, having a good time, which was running simultaneous to MRC. But it was nice to meet your team and nice to see how determined you were to take on Omni-Defiant and definitely lock yourselves into this second chance to get into the group stage. I will say you've had a commendable effort, commendable storyline to get here, and nonetheless you all got to pat yourselves on the back, especially a team that came together. You had a lot of subs, not a lot of time to prepare, but you still put on a show and locked yourselves into 5th and 6th spot here in the group stage. But what I want to ask as well is, what do you want to say to all the people that were supporting you guys? You guys had a lot of fans in chat over the past week.
You know, we had some doubters in Omni-Defiance, you know, that a lot of people were rooting for them. But, you know, we had it in the bag, just like this game. We really didn't doubt much. We knew what we were going to do playing in. And I'll be honest, the Emma ban and the Strange ban, like, kind of scared me because I had to go cap. But to all my supporters, I love y'all. Bubblecur, you know, Jacoby Cream. Let me see, who else? You know, they know who they are. But yeah, it was awesome. Thank you.
And what would you say to Brainstorm Esports? You know, you had this final bout with them. You know, do you feel as though, you know, it was an even match? I know it did go 2-0, but they did make you work for it. You know, you both are eliminated for now. You know, maybe you know, you've earned a little bit of respect for each other.
Yeah, 100%. Like, they are filled with great players across the board, and they've been trying really hard. And you know, it was a really, really close match. So you know, they shouldn't be too down on themselves, in my opinion. You know, we're all friends, and at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
this last game here was definitely showing the extent of how I don't know, how fun and how competitive, but also how like much of a community our Oceanic community region is. So thank you so much for the amazing game. My final question, Soupy, is about the playoffs next week. We would like to pick your brain a little bit here and maybe give us some predictions of how you think the playoffs will be going next week.
Yeah, well, I think Chopper Mag is going to take it home, get the land to Atlanta, but the rest is kind of up to, you know, it's hearsay. Kanga's going to do really well, I feel, but all the teams, like, you know, they're looking good, they're prepped, so it's going to be quite a few series, like, you know, definitely nail biters.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm super excited to see the playoffs, and I'm sure you and your team are excited to watch it. Congratulations on securing yourself that 5th and 6th spot, Soupy, for yourself, and of course the rest of Exodia. And thank you so much for putting on such a wonderful show, and thank you so much for this wonderful interview.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Soupy is such a wonderful person, but so is the rest of course, Exodia and Brainstorm Esports. It will be sad to say goodbye to them, but they have been wonderful to watch throughout this entire group stage. But of course, the show must go on. We must find our top 4 teams for the playoffs, and we have found them, Liger.
There we do. We have 4 locked in for next week in the playoffs. It's going to be exciting, jumping into October, all the games there as we dive into the depths of the later half of MRI Ignite in stage 2 for OCE. But on top of that, you know, the results today are impeccable. 2-0s all round, but some hard fought 2-0s. A lot of information has been collected for these playoffs. I now am very interested to see how certain teams perform against each other. Vulcan Red versus Chopper Mag starting off next week is going to be crazy. Kanga Esports versus Ground Zero. And then, of course, they don't just get eliminated straight away. We're talking best of 5s. Things are going to get very dynamic with lower brackets, elimination opportunities, and it's going to be a tough one. But to see who takes it to the grand finals as well on Sunday is going to be exciting. It's going to be some really awesome bouts. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Ultimately, they're all playing for one goal, one singular goal. Here in the OCE region, only one team makes it to the land, to grand finals in Atlanta at DreamHack. So question is, who's going to get it? Who's going to take it to victory? Ooh, it's going to be a spicy one. I can't wait to find out. But until then, we do give props and respect to the 4 teams that won't be continuing next week. That's going to be it's going to be The Vicious. That's going to be, of course, Fury Esports, as well as Brainstorm Esports, and of course, the winners of this last bout, Exodia. Good props to them. Hearts in the chat for all of them. GG's to them. And of course, good luck to the 4 teams who are going crazy and going to be in the playoffs. That's going to be Kanga Esports, as well as Ground Zero and Chopper Mag, and of course, Who else is going to be there, Icy? Who else is going to be? Who's that final team that has also locked their spot in to the playoffs?
Vulcan Red. I forgot which ones you had mentioned already. Yeah, Vulcan Red, Kanga, Chopper Mag, and Ground Zero are the 4 that will be in the playoffs next weekend. So excited to see them all play together. It's been a wonderful journey here in the group stage, and playoffs is going to be even better. As you mentioned, it's going to be best of 5s, and the grand final itself will be a best of 7.
Yes, of course. It's going to be crazy to see a best of 7. I'm very excited to see how Vulcan Red performs, because they are facing what many of these teams believe is the beast of OCE in terms of Chopper Mag, so it's keen to see how that unfolds. But, you know, the results are in. Keen to see how it's looking up. We're going to get a recap of the results from today's matches up on screen very soon. We're going to have a yap about that and all of the above. But yeah, Profound Rice, been honor casting with you in today's group stage matches. Been an awesome time indeed, for sure.
No, yeah, it's been absolutely amazing watching these group stage, and next week is going to be even more exciting. Of course, we'll be back, but of course Madsy will also be back as well to be casting these wonderful games, and it's going to be amazing. We've talked about, you know, these 2 series that are coming up with Chopper Mag versus Vulcan Red and Kanga Esports versus Ground Zero. I think Ground Zero and Kanga Esports, we've seen them face off against each other so many times in stage 1, previously being 2 of the Australian OCE Esports orgs that have been around in Marvel Rivals Oceanic tournament for a little while now. So I'm excited to see them face off again with a new iteration of their team compositions.
Of course, yeah, new teams, but the same org, which means the same fan bases, the same stakes, and the bragging rights here in OCE. A lot of OCE orgs are watching them, and hey, I'll tell you what, a lot of OCE orgs are on standby to join the Marvel Rivals Esports action when the time comes. I'm keen to see who joins, but there were a lot of orgs that played. We do, of course, say farewell to Fury as well. They did come back after a break. I feel like they're warming up still. They were there in the Invitational. We didn't see them in stage 1, but to see them here in stage 2 was awesome. I'm keen to see how that is. Now, I'm going to have a look, of course, at the standings for today, and keen to see how all of that's looking. We're going to get the standings ready. We're going to have a look and see how it's all looking for the next week's games in the playoffs, definitely.
Yeah, and I think I'm very curious to see. We've been collecting the bans and saves stats this entire weekend. So I'm curious to see how the results, of course, of those stats. I'm pretty sure we already can tell who the top bans and saves were. The must pick and ban ones were. But I'm curious to see how it changes next weekend, especially as things get more interesting in best of 5s, because with best of 5s, it's a lot about, mind games. Once the first and second games have been played, maybe the bans will be changing to reflect what has been the most annoying heroes to verse already, and be able to reveal the playing cards of all the different teams. So I'm curious to see how the bans and protects change in the playoffs compared to the group stage.
Yes, indeed. I am also so ready to find out, because I'm just looking at our numbers over here. Ultron was banned massively throughout the group stage, as well as Mantis. We saw that as a factor to consider as well. But besides all that, the results are in for day 4 of the group stage. There it is. Ground Zero did go 0-2 against Chopper Mag, who took the series 2-0 at the same time. It was a very dominant round for Chopper Mag. They actually had the heavily favored matchup in their favor. They even allowed Mantis through, but still claimed victory in 2-0. And then, of course, Kanga Esports broke their curse and won on domination, gave them the hype, the motivation, the momentum to take it home in their own 2-0 series against Vulcan Red. Vulcan Red started off strong though. They did. They brought us really obscure pseudo-aerial, pseudo-dive compositions that really caught Kanga off guard, as we saw, but wasn't enough to seal the deal, and Kanga brought it back and became a wall and kept on pushing with that gamma power as well. And then, of course, Brainstorm Esports versus Exodia, our last matchup. So epic, so fun. Exodia did hold it down. It was hard fought, but they did hold it down in the depths of the subway of course, Midtown, and claimed that 2-0 victory as well.
Yeah, that final match between Exodia and Brainstorm Esports was incredible. It was nail-biting. that final fight especially is definitely one of the highlights for myself of O today. And our final team standings for Group A and Group B, we can see Kanga Esports and Chopper Mag. These are our two undefeated within series teams. However, on top of that, I do want to point out, that Chopper Mag hasn't even dropped a single game at all, full stop. While Kanga Esports, they've dropped a couple dominations here and there, and they've assured both Liger and I and all you guys watching that they are studying hard on those domination maps. GZ, Ground Zero, and Vulcan Red, they will be joining them in the playoffs, but we do say goodbye to 4 teams, Liger.
I like that. They're ready, they're understanding they're at the top of Group A, but they're not at the top of the hill. They know Chopper Mag is currently above them, and they want to make sure they're prepared for when they face off against them. But of course, they're going to have to take down Ground Zero first if they want to have a crack at Chopper Mag, unless Vulcan Red actually do change the tide. Maybe they take down Chopper Mag and send them into the lower bracket first up on the Thursday. We don't know. Sorry, on the Friday. We don't know for now. We're gonna find out. But that's the standings. Lock it in. Kanga, Chopper Mag, of course, Vulcan Red, Ground Zero are your top 4. Farewells and W's in the chat, and GG will play to Fury, Exodia, The Vicious, and Brainstorm Esports, who are out and not playing off, but they were awesome in the group stage.
Absolutely awesome indeed. They did fantastic, and it was amazing to have them be performing in front of us and giving us wonderful shows. So these are the playoffs, Liger. Kanga versus Ground Zero. First up, I'm pretty sure they'll be the first one of the day. Chopper Mag and Vulcan Red will be following suit. And of course, the losers of these two series won't actually be completely knocked out. They will be falling down into the lower bracket semi-final. So they will have a second chance. But then following that, the 2 winners of those teams will be versing in the upper bracket finals. If they win that, they're heading towards the grand finals and potentially be heading their way to the grand final LAN later on this year.
Yeah, of course. I can't wait for that. Match schedule's locked in. October 3rd at 18 UTC+10, aka 6 p.m. AEST. That is going to be Kanga Esports versus Ground Zero, our first matchup of the day. And then right after that, in another best of 5, is going to be Chopper Mag versus Vulcan Red. That's going to be an epic day one. A beautiful Friday night of Marvel Rivals Esports. I can't wait for that to be set up and going off. Oh, only 4 days away, Ricey. 4 days away till the good times.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't 4 days away. I mean, it is only 4 days away, but I would like to keep watching these amazing teams fight and verse each other, because they have been absolutely amazing and phenomenal to watch this entire time. So wonderful to see these players play. Even when they were already facing elimination, Brainstorm Esports and Exodia, they put on a show and it's been fantastic to watch. But Liger, Hella, the Grim Lady.
Yes, the Goddess of Death shows no mercy. Extra, get your timely bulletin feed. Stalks timely, folks. Our new Sheriff Red Wolf has vanished, gone like a ghost in the dust. And who rode the skeleton horse into the Valley of Doom right after? A grim lady from Europe dressed in black with pockets full of black gold. She wants our town, our land, our future. Don't be left in the dark. The truths in the timely bulletin, just a nickel.
Instill fear into your enemy's eyes as you ascend the battlefield as Hella's the Grim Lady costume, making its debut appearance in Marvel Rivals Season 4. Available now. Give them something to talk about for centuries to come.
The slumbering dragon Sholau awakens in our Sholao's Blessing event. The immortal Sholau graces the battlefield with his generosity, but you'll have to complete missions to earn his rewards.
Earn points by playing different game modes to earn rewards that will have special missions to complete and a specific unlock time. So keep an eye out for your next task as you reach new milestones. Unlock the dragon within and redeem new costumes added to the pool from September 25th to October 9th.
And then again, it's here. Marvel Rivals is now available on PlayStation 4. Download now and play Marvel Rivals for free at PlayStation. Marvel Rivals Season 4, Heart of the Dragon, is now live. Join the fight alongside the one and only Angela. It is hype to see Marvel Rivals on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it has been absolutely amazing being able to play Marvel Rivals on PC, but it's so good for our PS4 players to also join the rivalry as well. So make sure you guys hop onto Marvel Rivals if you don't already play it, of course. It is a free-to-play game and it's so fun to not just watch, but also play.
Absolutely, absolutely. Playing on PC, playing on console, it's all a good time when you're playing with your friends. And of course, playing like the pros that have been playing today with a good team and good vibes, you can have fun on Marble Rivals. But speaking of fun, I've had so much fun casting alongside you today, Profound Rice. The epic group stage games have been awesome this week. It's been absolutely awesome to see the best of OCE's top 8 teams going at it. How cool has it been? I've had a great time.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing, Lager, being able to watch these games, and honored. I'm absolutely honored as well to be able to cast these games as well. Absolutely phenomenal players from every single team, of course, and they've been putting on a fantastic show. But we are not done yet, Liger. We have playoffs next weekend, of course, Friday, 6 p.m. Don't be late. Make sure you guys come and watch the show continue. We will be signing off for now, but we'll be seeing you guys there Friday next week. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. I am Profound Rice, and of course, this is Liger, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Woo!